You know, this is not a bad idea for BYU right now. If they can keep the ball on the ground and keep that clock going over there, sustain a drive.
A 2-point win is a win indeed. Behind the blocking of Nawahi.
Well, it didn't work that time. Joe Stiamalo ran into him head on and knocked Whittingham down.
Let's pause now for station identification.
This is KSL TV, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Third down and 5. Near the Cougars 45. Sean Covey, the quarterback. The Cougars up by 2. Drop straight back. Pressure. Belcher has him wrapped up. He dumps it off. Hawaii will scream that he threw it away.
Well, Keller was there, and he threw it in his direction, and that's what the officials will rule.
I think it's a good call by the officials. I can understand Hawaii's complaint. However, he stood in there and just strong-armed it far enough to make it look like a pass to Cutler.
BYU will be in a punting situation.
Thompson, from his 28, lifts this one deep to the 14-yard line. Bell bobbles it, but falls on it at the 12. To get a score, Hawaii has to go 78, 88 yards.
They're playing with a slippery football tonight, Steve.
Well, I mean, with 6:24 left to play in the game, BYU leads by 2. 15-yard line. Hawaii goes to work offensively. The quarterback is Warren Jones. 6'2", 196 pounds. A junior who runs for his life, but Thor Salanoa comes in to make the tackle. In every game this year, it seems that Salanoa has made a big play. He's done a lot of things. He's got 3 interceptions. He has 29 tackles, 3 sacks, 13 hurries. I guess maybe he's BYU's answer to Nonga in that he's the Samoan sack man. Thor being from here is the Hawaiian hurry man. What do you think?
Well, he's an outstanding player. In games that he's played, they're still talking about some of the hits he's made this year.
The Cougs could use a couple of those hits now. Jones running for his life. Von Collin gives chase. It'll be close to the first down at the 23. It would appear at the spot of the ball that he has it.
Looked like they had him for a moment back. At least the pass was well covered. So he sprints out and will be very close to a first down.
What they'll do is bring the chains all the way across the field. That's a 53 1/3 yards to measure.
What a factor time is in this football game. Hawaii, each team has missed a field goal here in the second half. Narrowly missed on each occasion. So now Hawaii just has to get close enough for a field goal. What is Valverde's long for the year? 47 yards. He's done that twice. He did get the first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 23. Now at the end of the first quarter, Hawaii led 7-3. At the end of the half, Hawaii led 14-10. In the third quarter, though, BYU put the clamps on the Hawaii attack. Nobody scored for Hawaii, but the Cougars got 2 Leonard Chitty field goals, and that explains this score, 16-14, with 5:45 left to play in the game. 1st and 10. Jones rolls right. Kafusi gives chase. Lambert gets the tackle, his second sack of the night at the 15-yard line.
Darren Lambert was, they'd hoped he could redshirt him this year, but when Rice and Thomas got hurt, he came back and played. It means that, well, in a way, he thought he could start next year. Here you see Darren Lambert, number 7, and he's played very well for BYU. Right now, they're using him a lot as the nickel back in this game, and to good advantage.
Nickel meaning 5 defensive backs. We'll take the time now to say hello to Kirk Davis, who's recovering from surgery. Kirk, of course, you know the story, diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease.
They're going to have to call a timeout, Steve. Jones was trying to get the attention of his coaches for some reason, and the clock was running on that 25-second clock. He called timeout. But Kirk Davis, what a great young man. I know you had a chance to talk to him this week, Steve.
Jones walks up behind the center. That's Charlie Moatalui. looking right. Salanoa takes him to the floor after he gets rid of the ball, but that ball was going nowhere, incomplete.
There's a flag down, and BYU says it's ineligible receiver downfield.
It could have been the way he danced back and forth.
There's the initial call by the referee, too. Well, BYU had them well covered in the secondary. You could see Jones was dancing around. He just couldn't spot anybody open downfield. And not only that, he had Salanoa right there trying to get well acquainted.
So Warren Jones, supposedly the throwing quarterback for Hawaii. Not a good night tonight. 0 for 3, yet to complete.
We have an ineligible offensive lineman downfield. The penalties decline. Third down.
Well, BYU stopped the play. They don't want to give him another shot here. They will decline the penalty, make a third down, and still long yardage.
Long yardage being 17 yards. That's a long way to go, especially when you haven't manufactured much yardage in the second half, and that's been the case for the Rainbows. Third down.
Salanoa chasing him.
He wants him. Von Collin gets him, drives him out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Well, the passing quarterback hasn't had much of a chance to show his stuff, and Jones is shaken up on the play, too, after the hit by Von Collin.
I can understand that. Salanoa makes the play work from the right side. Von Collin can tackle.
Yes, he can.
It sounds so simple, but it's an art. There's an art to it. Art to punting, too. Kyle Alou does a pretty good job of it. This one goes out of bounds.
He kicked it high again, tried to kick it away from O'Brien, and BYU's going to have excellent field position with 4.5 minutes to play, Steve.
Just across the 40-yard line of the Bows. That's where you want to be when you have a 2-point lead. And that's what the Cougars have. Covey remains the quarterback. Whittingham and O'Brien will join him in the backfield. Make that Whittingham. Bellini goes wide left with Miles, while Cutler and Hanley go wide right. The give to Whittingham over the left side. Carroll puts the first hit on, but he doesn't make the tackle.
Good hard-hitting football. BYU trying to be a little conservative at this point of the game. Hawaii tried to open it up a little bit with Jones, but they weren't able to do so.
And because of that, BYU's in pretty good territory.
Each team with a couple of timeouts left.
37 yards away from a touchdown. 4 minutes and 3 seconds away from a victory. That's a lot of time in a football game. Now they go with 2 tight ends. Second down. The give to Whittingham. Belcher, one of the men who helped make the tackle. Lalau is also there.
And very, very little gain, if any.
Now it'll be third down. Well, you want to take advantage of field position. You start at the 40-yard line. The last thing you want to do is fail to pick up a first down. And of course, if you're a defensive team like Hawaii, the last thing you want to do is give up a first down. So with that in mind, Covey looks at third down and 7. He's under pressure, but he breaks free. There's a flag on the play back near the offensive line. Aaron Kane makes the tackle.
He does not have the yardage for the first down. Well, they really came at him that time, Steve. The blitz was on.
The indication is clipping from referee Gene Wirtz.
Well, BYU with the football, very, very good field position following the short punt, and not able to really turn it into anything to their advantage other than keeping the field position.
Wirtz, a long-time WAC official. He does a good job.
Just over 3 minutes to play in this football game. Hawaii trying their darndest to get their hands on the football. They need quite a few yards to get close enough for a field goal attempt. Valverde has missed 1 in the game. He missed 3 last year against BYU. Boy, would he like to come down to his foot winning the game. gives him the down over too, Steve.
Yeah, but Bob Wagner wants to take it. Put him back as far as you can. Have some confidence in your defense. It was funny watching Wagner saying, take it, sending his thumb to the right, Kind of looked like the Shaka sign, didn't it?
Bellini brings a play in for BYU.
The clock is running with 3 minutes left to play in the game. Now, even less than that.
Only got, 11 seconds to get the play underway.
Sam Carroll trying to fire up the fans. 3rd down and 23. The draw to Whittingham. Belcher meets him head-on to make the tackle at the 40. 10 yards short of the first down. But a big gain in that. It moves the Cougars that much further downfield. And in the event of a punt, perhaps Hawaii that much further back.
And keeps the clock running too. 2:22, an incomplete pass would have stopped the clock. Now you got Pat Thompson out there. Through the years, Hawaii has been famous for blocking punts, especially in key situations. Pat Thompson, it's up to him right now to get this one away.
Wagner, one of the reasons that block kicking game has worked so well. He gets this one away though. It's low and it's rolling near the end line, and it'll roll out of bounds.
What a punt by Pat Thompson. They not only did not block it, he kind of pooched it down the sidelines and rolled it out to me. It looked like on the 1 yard line. Lavelle Edwards, is that a look? If he was Red Auerbach, would he light up the cigar now, Steve?
I think that's ecstasy.
Okay.
On Lavelle's face.
You can't give up the big play now.
But then again, you can't get too excited. Like you say, there's a minute 53 left to play in the game.
Cougars ahead 16-14. Just the kind of game I guess you learn to expect between BYU and Hawaii. And some of the Rainbow fans think the game's over. Here they go home. It's the first time we've really seen much of a movement out of the stand.
Now watch this offense. Jones scrambling in the end zone. Pitches out. A pickup of 7 yards. Peterson makes the tackle. That's MacArthur on the catch.
And for BYU, that's all right with the clock running. Tonight's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Utah player of the game is Bob Davis.
Starting at linebacker, doing a good job for the Cougars, making a lot of key tackles. That time it was Von Collin and Tim Knight making a very big tackle inside the 5.
Well, he looked up and saw Von Collin coming right at him and just dropped. And the clock is still running. Now, how close do you have to get, Steve? 35-yard line?
Well, with Valverde, he's an accurate kicker, but he hasn't kicked a long one that many times this year. Jones with time, now scrambling. Hobbs has him. This one will be a flag.
Yeah, they're going to call him with intentionally grounding the football. What a big play by the BYU defense.
Big play by Richard Hobbs, 57 out of Shelley, Idaho.
He flipped the ball downfield, but he didn't have anybody out there. 27 seconds on the clock now. Tremendous defensive play for BYU, a key defensive play.
A year ago, the Rainbows were moving downfield late in the game. Jason Buck came up with a big quarterback sack. This time, it's Richard Hobbs.
That's loss of down.
Loss of down. 2nd down.
Puts the ball all the way back to the BYU 27-yard line. That's the key to that.
Wagner says, calm down, gain control, execute the offense. The Bows have 27 seconds to do so. There's a flag on the play. MacArthur makes the catch. Lambert drives him out of bounds at the 41.
I believe somebody grabbed the helmet, the face mask of Dave Futrell and flipped it off.
He doesn't have his helmet.
Yeah,
he went to pick it up. Von Collin applauds, indicating a call against the Bows.
Well, that's the kind of thing you can't do in this situation. They don't have any time really to speak of anyway, but kind of a foolish thing to do if what I said was the thing that did occur. Yeah, see, I think they tried to stop Futrell by grabbing his face mask.
Most often you see the face mask call against a ball carrier. Funny to see it against a defensive tackle.
So after gaining the pass play to get them up near midfield, now 2 consecutive penalties will really put the Rainbows in the hole with only 19 seconds. Think there's anybody still up in Utah, Steve?
Sure. Sure. Can't think of anybody right offhand. Sure. It's been a good football game. BYU leads at 16-14. The Rainbows have the ball in their own territory. 19 seconds remain. Hawaii with 1 timeout left. And the march backward continues.
By the offense, 15-yard penalty, in this case, half the distance. Second down.
So it's second down from the 11-yard line. I think it's 2nd and 44 in the book. It might as well be 2nd and 88.
Well, the headline today said, if not this year, when? It looks like it's not going to be this year. They were talking about when would Hawaii ever beat BYU in the WAC in football.
It's been 13 years. Jones lets this one fly to Roscoe. It's out of bounds. 6 seconds tick off the clock. 13 remain. It's 3rd down and 44 for the first down. But they're not thinking first down. They're thinking points. They need 3 at least, a field goal.
Steve, I was talking to Jim Lay, who does the telecast here for the University of Hawaii, for the local TV station. And he was talking about BYU being the Notre Dame of the WAC, the power of the WAC, the bully of the WAC. But he pointed out that not only haven't they beaten BYU in football and in the WAC, they have never won in basketball at the Marriott Center.
Is that right?
Yeah, he says we're getting frustrated over it all.
Yeah. It's been a while since they played football in Provo. It'll be a while before they play again. Jones throwing. He's got Roscoe.
Roscoe was trying to get out of bounds, but the referee is over there. Now is he going to say he did? The Cougars say the clock should be going. It has 3 seconds on it. Bob Wagner's over there saying, wait a minute.
And Roscoe's calling timeout, and that's what'll happen.
The Cougars thought the clock should have kept going right there if he didn't go out of bounds. Maybe Notre Dame, we saw them last week, Steve, but maybe Hawaii did get a timeout call then. 3 seconds showing.
3 seconds left in this game. The ball spotted at the 32-yard line. The field goal is gone now.
That's right. In addition to the 3 seconds, Steve, it's 4th down, and they need 24 yards for a first down.
Well, they can't think anything but touchdown now. They don't have a choice. I think what we'll see, it'll be nice if we can get a picture of it.
Look where Rodney Rice is playing defensively. He's back on the BYU 30-yard line.
Oh, he'll be playing center field. Deep center field.
He's 10, 20, 30. He's almost 40 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
What we might see happen is what we saw a little bit earlier in this drive, and the drive before this. We'll see the Hawaii offense stack a number of receivers to one side. Last time they had 4 receivers, 3 slot backs, and a wide out on the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got to watch for the one thing they could do, too, is the old flea flicker.
I tell you what, it's tough to fool a lot of people with 68 yards. Everybody will be dropping back. You see Richard Hobbs, he's a linebacker. He'll be playing midfield. He'll be a rover.
There are 4 men up at the line of scrimmage. Then you go back about 10 yards. There's Von Collin, and back of him is Hobbs. Then back another 10 or 15 yards. You've got 4 more defensive backs. And Rodney Rice 10 yards in back of that.
Here we see it, the 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Williams, Walsh, Larry Conn-Smith. Fakava's in the backfield. Jones is the quarterback. This is it. Darren Lambert, who comes up with 2 big quarterback sacks in the second half, ends the game with an interception. And for Hawaii,
second interception of the season, still on the turf. Might have turned that left ankle. It's what George Curtis, the trainer, is looking at right now. But here's the replay. Stafford kind of let that ball hang up just a little bit, overthrew his receiver, and right there, you can see Rice kind of let that ankle turn on it.
Rodney, very likable young man. He's a good athlete, getting a chance to start this year. And he was very nervous in last week's game. He's played well in this game.
You can see, too, Futrell putting big pressure on Stafford. Kurt Davis will back up Rice, so we'll see if Rodney can come back in on the next defensive series. But right now, the Cougars with an opportunity at the 33-yard line. And there's Rice being helped off to the sideline. Jensen on first down. Good protection. Flips one to the far sideline. Caught over the shoulder by Whittingham. And the coverage there by John Hagee, the free safety. And Freddie Whittingham, once he gets that motor going, he's got some good speed.
That's a pass play that's been good to BYU for many years. Throwing to a back coming out of the backfield. There's Rice. It's his ankle they're working on, is it not?
It's like he's up and walking. Sometimes those just sting. You know, you can pinch a nerve down there.
Yeah, he's walking around over in back of the bench now.
2nd down and 4. Good pickup of 6 on that first down play. O'Brien in the slot. Now Jensen fires to O'Brien. Fumbles the football. It's still loose. Who's got it? They're going to call it incomplete.
I think they're going to call it incomplete, so it doesn't matter. But O'Brien comes out with the football. Boy, what an effort to get the ball.
O'Brien, pretty reliable hands. John Hagee there, the free safety, to put the stick on him. And the crowd not particularly green with the call. Did he have control or not? Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay. Jensen, good protection. Made a nice catch. Took a step. I think he had possession.
I did too. I thought he had it in the arm and it was knocked out. And look at the effort for him to get the ball back. Bob Jensen went over and talked to the referee about it, but he didn't get him to change his mind.
So instead of a first down, it's now 3rd and 4 at the 38. Jensen flushed out of the pocket, has plenty of running room, and will slide safely down to the 47-yard line. Paul Bierman, the free safety, a freshman out of Norman, Oklahoma, comes up to force the stop on Bob Jensen.
Craig, I think we'll see more and more of this as the year goes along for BYU. Bob Jensen is a good athlete. He's quick, and he likes to run with the football.
Well, I tell you, that's the way to stay away from injury. You try to keep those legs loose, and you just make a nice slide. They're inside Texas territory at the 48-yard line. Jensen again wants a throw, almost picked off by John Hagee. Well, we've called his number a lot tonight. He is all over the field, an All-American preseason favorite, and he can play that position of free safety like an outfielder, just roaming around, making things happen.
Jensen intending it for Handley as tight end, and Craig, it looks like Hagee is reading that play or something. He moved over in front of the intended receiver. Rodney Rice are working on that ankle.
And a timeout on the field. Texas will call timeout with 2:43 to play first half. And we've got ourselves a good one in Austin. We're all tied up at 7.
What's the matter?
Oh, I'll never be any good at tennis.
You almost beat me today.
Almost doesn't count.
Well, maybe this will make you feel better.
That was quick.
Almost as quick as your return.
Sizzler's plump, juicy broiled shrimp, lightly seasoned and basted, and served with a sirloin steak at a nice lean price.
Now do you feel better?
A little.
Well, what would make you feel a lot better?
Your last shrimp.
Sizzler.
Suppose I ought to send this old thing out and get it reupholstered. But I won't give up my comfort for even one day. Just like I won't give up my U.S. West Direct Yellow Pages. It looks like this because I use it. It's the only place I find exactly what I want. These U.S. West Direct folks have been around a long time. I use their book because it's the only one I feel comfortable with.
U.S. West Direct, the one that gets used.
Cougars want to throw on 2nd down. Jensen looking across, wide open. The tight end, Handley, inside the 30 at the 28. Jared Senegal and Paul Bierman team up to put the stop on the big tight end, 6'2", 230, Darren Handley out of Sandy, Utah.
Jensen, lots of time to throw. If we get a chance, look how wide open Handley is in the middle.
Well, I tell you what.
Look at that. He stops right there and waits for it.
Texas playing a nickel back defense, and Handley did a good job just kind of working his way in. and found the pass from Bob Jensen, and the Cougars on the front doorstep looking for 6. The handoff, O'Brien, right side. He's got a big running room, but the hole closes quickly down at the 26-yard line. Brian White and John Borgia opened up that hole, but it closed awful quick, Jay.
Yeah, as he tried to make his cut, his feet slipped on the AstroTurf.
Pickup of 2 on the play with 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
Well, they're making him somewhat honest with their running game, making the passing game work.
Jensen now 10 out of 20 for 105 yards here. 1 interception and 1 touchdown. O'Brien in motion. Jensen on second down. Looking up top. He's got Cutler at the 3. Turns. Touchdown.
Now that was a good play by the quarterback and the receiver. Jensen waited until he spotted him, and Cutler made a good move to get open. And then he stopped, caught the ball, and cut into the end zone to score.
Well, what an impressive drive by BYU. Chuck Cutler making the touchdown reception, his first of the season, and Jensen staying in the pocket, and Cutler right here, little spin move, and yeah, you're in the end zone for 6. Back on coverage, the right corner, Stanley Richard, and they picked on him some tonight.
Jensen pumped twice and then finally threw it, and Cutler has good speed. He got away.
And Leonard Chitty knocks it through the uprights, and the Cougars, after trailing by a touchdown, have now come back to take a 14-7 lead. Let's check in with Charlene Wells-Hawks with a Rodney Rice injury report. Charlene?
Craig, with that impressive interception of Rodney's, what he did was he landed on his left ankle, planted it, and cut and sprained his left ankle. All they did was ice it, tape it, and he'll be back in. Craig?
The modern miracles of medicine. It's amazing what little tape will do on an ankle.
Sure is. Go back to my days, Craig, and you're out 3 weeks at least on something like that. I still would be. You know, let's think of a couple things. Rodney Rice's interception turns it around and helps set up a TD. The first Cougar TD came when they completed a pass and had Texas commit a personal foul, which gave BYU a first down. So BYU's had some breaks. They've made some breaks, and they're ahead now by 7 points.
14-7, and this crowd, which was very loud and noisy when we started this game, 65,000 strong, kind of sitting on their hands right now. And the pressure is on Davey McWilliams. He follows some big-name coaches, Darrell Royal and Akers. You know, they kind of felt like he jumped ship when he went to Texas Tech last year, but you can't really blame the guy. You got to get that experience somewhere.
You know, the thing that was interesting to me here, they've got a loud crowd, but they're a late arriving crowd. They're a lot like BYU's.
There's a squirmer picked up, the 5th man up. That's number 23. We'll have to check our chart list to find out who that young man is. Chris Samuels picks up the football at about the 20. And I don't know if Gurman just missed that kick or if that was planned, Jay.
Well, it's very likely they did not want to get the ball into the hands of Metcalf or anyone at this point in the game. Scoring drive, there's only a little over a minute to go in the first half.
You know, when you got Metcalf and Jones back there, it's better maybe to give them a little bit of some yardage instead of maybe letting those guys break it. Stafford wants to throw on first down. Steps up in the pocket, fires one to Jones, and the reception is made at the 42-yard line. Tony Jones wrapped up by the free safety, Scotty Peterson. And Peterson, a big fella, 6'4", 220, out of Shafter, California.
BYU's had pressure on Stafford all night. They did again that time, and he got it away just before he was hit.
BYU using Craig Patterson and Futrell, Kafusi up front tonight. Stanford again wants to throw. Good protection, flings it out to the backfield. Metcalf turns the corner. What a block put on there by Darren Norris to pick off Timmy Clark. And that really gave Metcalf a chance to break it up the sideline and pick up an extra 10 yards.
Troy Long forced him out of bounds right in front of the Longhorn bench. Here's the block Greg was talking about, right there.
That's
Von Collin.
And that let Metcalf pick up an extra 10. Let's check in with Charlene.
Craig, when the offensive line came off the field after that last touchdown, they all sat down on the bench, and John Borgia says, hey, keep helping each other. You're open, you see a man, boom, go pick him up.
John Borgia playing with a bad ankle. And this guy, one of the offensive co-captains this year, 6'4", 270. And you can see the big arms on John Borgia. He's a good one. And this offensive line, Jay, trying to get some confidence back. The end of last season hurt their pride, and I believe that last week they fell a little bit down, but tonight they're starting to get things going.
Well, this week in practice, they had a chance to work together as a unit for the first time this fall all week long. You can see the difference.
Eric Metcalf, 4 receptions out of the backfield for 39 yards. He's been a busy man tonight.
And they're running against the clock right now. In minute 4, they did not get the first down, but they lack only 6 inches.
14-7, BYU leading. Tell you what, short yardage here. This has happened 2 other times tonight, if you remember, and Stafford has gone in once with the touchdown and the other for a first down. Let's see if he keeps it again. They send Metcalf in motion, and yeah, the quarterback keeper. It's always good for a yard.
They've used it, as you say, each time they've needed first down yardage. So watch, some point in the second half, they'll drop back and throw 180 yards.
That's a good point. You got to always be on your toes out there. First down. And the clock ticking away. Under a minute to go, first half. Metcalf and Norris, your 2 backs. Long count. They do the option pitch. Metcalf spins out of 1 tackle, and he falls down at the 35. But give Timmy Clark some credit. He read that play and forced Metcalf to turn it upfield. He lost his footing, and down he goes.
I believe he got a hand on him just enough to spin him off balance. See if we get a chance to see. As you pointed out, they ran the option. That's the first time we've seen that. See, I don't know. Well, I couldn't tell that time. But whether or not he got a hand on it, he forced him off balance.
Well, Clark's 265 and Metcalf's about 170, so maybe the wind pushed him down, huh?
Well, he's down anyway. For the Cougars, that's the important thing. And I think Texas uses their last time out.
39 seconds to go. First down, even. It took BYU a while to get the first one tonight, but since midway through that first quarter, their offense has sparked and put 2 touchdowns on the scoreboard to lead 14-7. BYU, Jay, we've read a lot of publications the last 10 days since BYU lost to Pitt. We've seen 4, we've seen 5, and we've seen 6-point underdogs in several different publications around, but you know, usually it's a 3-point or a field goal advantage when you play at home. They send the tight end, Clark, in motion. Stafford stumbles after the snap, regains his balance, and throws downfield. Gabriel Johnson, the intended receiver, but I don't think Stafford ever had a chance to really set up and plant a foot.
The key was what you said, Craig. He stumbled. He lost his balance as he went back. You know, Texas comes to Provo next year, and it's really fun to come down here. You know, this is the big time. You read about Texas. You hear about Texas. It's fun to be here. It'll be fun to have a team like this come into Provo next year to play BYU.
It's going to be a while before the Cougars return to Provo.
Well, that's right. Seems like next year.
Third down and long. Stafford, the quick pass out to his wide receiver, Johnny Walker. And he is stacked up by Troy Long and Rodney Rice back in there. And Rice a little slow getting up, still kind of limping on that ankle a little bit. But boy, did Troy Long put the stick on Johnny Walker, number 1. That's going to force a field goal attempt here.
This Johnny Walker is a freshman from San Antonio, and they said he was the top high school receiver recruit in the state last year.
Wayne Clements in. The ball is marked down at the 36. A 46-yard attempt by the left footer. The kick is up, and it is good. So as the time expires here in the first half of play, the Longhorns of Texas draw a little closer. The field goal by Clements now makes it 14-10 in favor of BYU. We will take a break, be back here, and also update you with some Sports Central scores right after this timeout. Don't go away.
It's Truck Country closeout time at Gene Harvey Chevrolet with exciting savings to match our selection of great new Chevy trucks. Check a new half-ton now, just $10,152. Lease it for just $191.83 a month. A new full-size Blazer for just $313.43 a month. Or save over $2,400 on a new Suburban and lease it for just $315 a month. Don't miss it. The Gene Harvey Chevrolet truck closeout selection and savings. See us now.
That's Gene Harvey Chevrolet.
In American Ford.
The first Olympic Games were a single 200-yard race held near Olympia, Greece. In 1896, 9 nations sent young athletes back to Greece for the first modern Olympiad. Now the Olympics have come of age. October this year, athletes 55 and older will compete in the first annual World Senior Olympics to foster world peace, friendship, and health in the heart of America's great Southwest. To participate, contact any First Security Bank office or the St. George Hilton Inn, World Senior Olympics headquarters.
We all know television can fool you. See what I mean? That's why it's so important for you to come in to Wallpaper Warehouse. Oh, we can tell you how easy wall covering is, and we can magically change your room from drab to beautiful. But the only way you're really going to understand how new and different wall covering is today is to visit Wallpaper Warehouse. Maybe I'll pop in while you're here. Right now, you can buy 1 roll and get the second roll free on all in-stock wall covering. It's so easy with Wallpaper Warehouse.
There's a clearance at your Chrysler Plymouth store, and it's sending all our new cars out the door. Everything goes. Everything goes.
Hurry in now for the best deals of the year on Plymouth Sundance. Plus, get low 1.9% financing or $500 cash back. And get the 770 protection plan.
Everything goes.
See Layton Hills, Doug Smith, Rick Warner, Larry Miller, Rocky Mountain, and Canyon, your Utah Super 6 dealer.
And welcome back to Austin, Texas. This is what they call Longhorn country, Jay. And right now the fans not real happy. Cougars playing well after Texas got on the board first.
It's humid country too, right? You know, Craig, they get on the board first, and they're coming down, and they've got a good chance to score again. They could take a 14-0 lead. The BYU defense stiffens, stops them, gets the ball back, and just sort of changed the momentum right there. I thought that Texas was really pumped up after that first score. They came back down after they got the ball back from BYU and looked like they might go in and score again. But the BYU defense stopped them. The BYU defense has gotten the ball back a couple of times and helped set up a couple of scores. And then the offense, 2 big scoring strikes. You got to be proud of the BYU team.
You know, really, watching this game tonight, I kind of had a gut feeling it was going to be a fun one to watch because both teams are trying, experimenting with some new things. Metcalf's speed's fun to watch on Texas. And Bob Jensen and the offensive line for BYU, I think, is finally maturing, kind of coming into their own. Both teams doing some good things on each side of the line.
You've got to give the BYU offensive line a lot of credit tonight. They have done very well. I think the BYU defensive line and their linebackers have been able to put a lot of pressure on Stafford, and that's been a factor in the game, too.
You expect more of the same here in the next 30 minutes? Wide open?
Yeah, you know, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Wide open. I'll go with that.
All right. We'll be back with more halftime action from Austin, Texas. Cougars lead it 14-10 right after this.
Fill your toolbox with all the right tools and supplies. Now on sale at Industrial Supply. And get the professional edge. Insist on the best. Cooper hand tools. Turner self-igniting torch with free propane refill is only $27.50. Weller Universal Soldering Kit is on sale for $19 plus a $3 rebate. Famous Lufkin 25-foot measuring tape is specially priced at only $9.99. Cooper Tools, the difference between work and workmanship. Get the professional edge at Industrial Supply. The right place for the right tools for you.
It's the Carpet Giants 1-2-3 sale.
The Carpet Giant works them all.
Finding giant carpet value is as easy as 1, 2, 3 at the Carpet Giant. 100 rolls at $5.99, 200 at $6.99, 300 at $7.99, and so on. Like this Anso X 5-year wear warranty carpet by Bigelow. Was $10.99, now $7.99 during the sale at the 13th South Sugar House and now in Ogden.
The Carpet Giant works them all.
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Central, where BYU leads Texas 14-10 at the half. Now, we have a lot more football to talk about, but first there's the matter of the U.S. Open and the Women's Championship. This was a rematch of the Wimbledon final, and it looked like it might be a long day in the first set when it took a great serve by Martina Navratilova to win the tiebreaker against Steffi Graf. But in the second set, Navratilova owned the 18-year-old Graf. She won the match 7-6, 6-1. It marks her 4th Open Championship. The loss was only the 2nd for Graf this year. Both have come against Navratilova. Now, the men's championship is set for tomorrow morning at Flushing Meadows. Mats Wilander will play Yvonne Lendl. Wilander was a 4-set winner in the all-Swedish semifinal featuring Wilander and Stefan Edberg. That while Lendl had to get by Jimmy Connors. Match point pretty well capsulized the entire match. Connors battled all the way, but Lendl was just too good. They played on even terms early, but in the end, it was the defending champion, Lendl, winning 6-4, 6-2, 6-2. Baseball's defending champion, the New York Mets, are finding the weekend a rather tough one. Today, the Mets' Dwight Gooden had control problems against the Cards in a key division matchup in the National League East. St. Louis scored in the top of the first when Gooden walked in a run, and before the inning was over, watch Tony Pena crack a 2-run single to give the Cards a 5-0 lead. Gooden gave up 6 runs before leaving after 2 innings. St. Louis strolled to an 8-1 win at Shea Stadium. On the scoreboard, Montreal beat the Cubs that final 7-1 in 10 innings. It was Atlanta over the Dodgers 10-9. In the American League, Toronto beat New York 13-1. Boston edged Baltimore 4-3. Minnesota was a 4-5 loser to Cleveland. And Kansas City outslugged Oakland that final 10-7. Well, the Padres have the day off, but Jack Murphy Stadium doesn't. At 8 o'clock, the San Diego State Aztecs host Utah in a key WAC football game. Now, should the Utes win, they could own the lead in the conference standings after last week's win over New Mexico. Against New Mexico, the Utes gave up a few big plays, but they managed to beat the Lobos 24-20. Against the Aztecs, Clarence Field says the Utes can't be so kind.
This week, if you give up those type of plays, they could beat you a lot more because they have a little better speed, I believe. And when they beat you, it will be big because they can go all the way with it. The reason San Diego State is such a threat is simple. 3 syllables. Todd Santos.
Todd Santos is one of the best in the country, and we've got to get to him, I think, to affect him.
Defensively, the Aztecs allowed 47 points to powerful UCLA last Saturday, but they still have Utah's respect.
They're going to be really tough. You know, they're strong. They got all their DBs returning, and they're tough up front, too.
The home field advantage goes to San Diego State. The Aztecs don't draw rabid record crowds, but the Utes are young, and just leaving home can be a distraction.
I think most of our guys aren't even shaven yet, but they'll have to call their mom and dad on Friday night and let them know they're in the hotel all right. But you never know how you can play on the road. I expect this team to play well on the road.
But it is a different experience.
Oh, no question about it. I think when you're at home and you have your crowd here, being at home really helps. You go on the road, it can be a different effect, especially with the young players.
It won't be tough on Clarence Fields, though. He's going home. He graduated from San Diego's Claremont High School.
It's my last time going down there since I'm a senior, and I want to play good in front of the hometown fans.
You're on top of the league standings right now. You plan to stay there?
We're going to try. We're going to do our best to stay there. It feels good right now.
Well, that's what's happening tonight. After the break, we'll show you what happened in the world of college football this afternoon.
Buy at Wholesale's success has been built upon one concept, that the wise comparison shopper will choose to stop paying retail and start buying wholesale. Now we're opening a second Buy at Wholesale warehouse just east of I-15 at 21st South, making it even easier for you to stop paying retail. Come into either Buy at Wholesale location during our grand opening, and we'll give you a 30-day free membership, a copy of our comparison price list that is appearing in the newspaper, and a sticker showing that you have joined the wise shoppers who have stopped paying retail and now buy at wholesale.
Now it's Mazda's final 87 model clearance. Get $1,000 worth of options free from Mazda or $1,000 cash back from Mazda on all Mazda cars and trucks. On every 87 323, 626, RX-7, and truck in stock. It's your choice. $1,000 worth of options free or $1,000 cash back. Use cash back toward your down payment or get a check from Mazda. Hurry! Mazda's final 87 clearance ends soon.
When I was a kid, it was so easy. Mom would fix my mush in the morning. She'd make sure my flaps were down so my ears wouldn't freeze, and if my zipper broke, she'd fix it. It was so easy then. Where's a mom when you need her?
Mother's substitutes are found at Henry's. Our tailors are waiting to fix your broken zippers or hem a cuff, tuck a waist, narrow a tie, taper a shirt, raise a hem, patch a jacket, stitch a pocket. Henry never meant to take the place of your mother, but he'll do if she's not around. Henry's Cleaning and Tailoring. It's so easy.
You want to get a Pepsi?
Sounds good.
Utah State fell to 0-2 this afternoon in Lexington, Kentucky. That's where the Aggies watched Kentucky's Mark Higgs run for an 85-yard touchdown just 8 minutes into the game to lead the Cats to a 41-0 victory. At the Air Force Academy, TCU's Tony Jeffrey put the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian in front in the first quarter. He did it with a run, a short run, to make it 7-0. I'm hoping we'll take a look at that highlight. Yes or no? There it is. This is Tony Jeffrey taking it in, and the Horned Frogs are on top 7-0. However, the Falcons answered back. Quarterback D. Dowis gets this one almost all the way, but then he fumbles it forward. Sets up a touchdown. Albert Booker will put him on top 14-7. In the second half, Air Force put the game out of reach with Anthony Robertson's 46-yard run. The final was 21-10. BYU plays Texas Christian next week on the Frogs' home field. Elsewhere in the WAC scoreboard, Wyoming lost to Washington State in Pullman this afternoon, 43-28. It was Hawaii losing in Madison, Wisconsin to the Badgers 28-7. And in the second quarter of play, Texas Tech leads Colorado State. That score 10-0. In top 20 action, the game of the day was supposed to be in Lincoln, Nebraska, where the second-ranked Cornhuskers were supposed to have had their hands full with number 3 UCLA. Didn't really happen, though, because Nebraska quarterback Steve Taylor threw a school record 5 touchdown passes. This one went to Rod Smith, and Nebraska beat the Bruins with a surprising 42-33 final. That wasn't the day's only surprise, though. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, the 9th-ranked Wolverines gave one away literally to Notre Dame. Coach Bo Schembechler had to watch his Wolverines fumble all day long, including Heisman Trophy candidate Jamie Morris. In the first quarter, this one got away from him, and it set up the Fighting Irish first score because another Heisman Trophy candidate, Tim Brown, will catch this Terry Andrzak pass. He has all day to throw it. 11 yards later, the Fighting Irish lead 10-0. In the second half, the game was never really in doubt. Freshman Ricky Waters takes it in 18 yards, and Notre Dame beats Michigan in an upset, the final 26-7. On the scoreboard, let's take a look at number 1 Oklahoma. Jamel Holloway scored all 4 Oklahoma TDs. The Sooners beat North Carolina 28-0. Ohio State took advantage of 8 Mountaineer turnovers to beat West Virginia 24-3. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, we see Clemson beating Virginia Tech 22-10. In the second quarter, Alabama is beating Penn State, the defending national champions. An update on that score is now 17-7. Washington beat Purdue this afternoon 28-10. It was 14th-ranked Tennessee over Mississippi 38-10. The Vols are now 3-0 this year. Pittsburgh shut out North Carolina State, and number 20 Georgia beat the Beavers of Oregon State. That final 41-7. Now tomorrow, the NFL kicks off its 68th season with 13 games. One of the better matchups finds Denver meeting Seattle, the team that has the Boz, the player that inspired this song. You know, I always wondered what that song meant when translated English, and now I know. Anyway, that's it from here at Sports Central. Thanks for joining us. Now let's head back to Texas for the second half of action. BYU leads 14-10.
At Doug Smith Chrysler Plymouth, you can finance your 1987 New Yorker for 1.9% APR or buy as low as $15,056 after $500 cash rebate. Why wait? Your New Yorker is at Doug Smith right now.
Hi, this is Randy Owen with the group Alabama. And for more country hits, listen to KSOP FM 104.
It's new, KSOP FM 104.
He's never gonna outgrow it. I could just...
Is it you or is it him? Let's talk about it. Help him. Don't hit him.
The first Olympic Games were a single 200-yard race held near Olympia, Greece. In 1896, 9 nations sent young athletes back to Greece for the first modern Olympiad. Now the Olympics have come of age. October this year, athletes 55 and older will compete in the first annual World Senior Olympics to foster world peace, friendship, and health in the heart of America's great Southwest. To participate, contact any First Security Bank office or the St. George Hilton Inn, World Senior Olympics headquarters.
And welcome back to Memorial Stadium, Austin, Texas. The Longhorns against the Cougars. And the first half, we expected a good ball game, 14-10. Your score with the Cougars on top. And, Jay, we just saw the big band here perform. And, you don't see that in college football all that much anymore. The band's coming out here and putting on a big, big show. It looked good.
It was a very good show, and they really get the crowd involved. They did at the start of the game. They did at halftime. The people here have a lot of fun at a football game.
Defensively, let's talk about both sides of the line. Texas has good line backing, and so does BYU. And that was another key to this game. There were some big runs that could have happened, but the Cougars were able to shut off some of that outside speed, especially in the second quarter.
That's true. We've had some good play by the linebackers. You mentioned during the telecast that BYU had succeeded in pinching in the Texas runners. They, in the second period in particular, they were able to keep them in the middle of the field instead of on the outside.
How about Bob Jensen? Pressure on his shoulders this year, of course, to get the BYU passing attack back in gear. I tell you what, for a guy who played just a couple of games last year in his second game this season, Bob Jensen is maturing, I think, pretty quickly.
He has looked good in this football game. He's thrown some strikes. He's found open men. He's been calm out there and collected. I thought he maybe hit a streak in the game where he, just a little bit of a slump or whatever expression you want to use, because he missed some open men just during one streak out there. But he's played a good, solid football game.
All right, we'll come back and take a look at those first half highlights right after this.
When you need brakes, you need Mr. Brake. At Mr. Brake, your vehicle will be serviced by mechanics who specialize in brake repair. And because we use premium quality parts, you know your brakes will be safe and reliable. Now we stand behind our work by offering free replacement of Mr. Brake's disc or drum linings if they ever wear out for as long as you own the car. It's unbeatable. For safety's sake, see the experts at Mr. Brake, serving you for over 20 years with 6 locations in Salt Lake and Ogden.
What do you want to eat, Joey?
Some chicken, or maybe a taco. Wait, I know. Turkey and a scone and some Jell-O.
Don't forget some vegetables.
Oh, Mom.
How'd you like to go to Chuck-A-Rama?
Boy, would I.
Chuck-A-Rama has just what your kids want, as much as they want, including the taste-tempting dessert bar, all for a special low kids price. Chuck-A-Rama, the tastiest buffet for kids.
Come home to Chuck-A-Rama, the tastiest buffet in town.
It's back. The big one is back on select GMC trucks. Get 1.9% GMAC financing on all new 1987 S15 Jimmys and S15 pickup trucks. Or get up to $1,000 cash back, depending on the model you choose. We simply want your next truck to be a GMC truck. 1.9.
Test drive yours today at Great Basin, Clark, Clarence Knight, Morris Motors, Peterson Motors, Jerry Seiner. Yours 6 to see for GMC trucks.
There it is. Gee, it's bigger. It's better. It's right.
Ever shop for the right thing at the wrong store?
Not anymore, because Wrights has moved to a bigger and better location to give you more selection with better service at 3474 South State. Wrights still has free mounting and computer balance with any tire purchase. Remember bigger. 3474 South State. Remember better. 3474 South State. Remember.
Everybody goes to Wrights. Everybody goes to Wrights.
And the Cougars are back on the field here at Memorial Stadium, Austin, Texas. And the Texas Longhorns making their way out of the locker room, trailing by 4, 14-10.
And see the Cowboys down there. A lot of Cowboys lined up to greet the team. Here's some highlights.
Here's some highlights of the first half. Their big running back, Darren Norris, chewing up some big yardage early to help set up that touchdown. Finally chased down from behind by Rodney Thomas. And you can see that diving effort by Norris. Got down to the 2-yard line. Couple of plays later, the old quarterback keeper. We used to do this on the playground. Simple dive play right over the goal line, and the Longhorns, Jay, went up by 7. And here's Jensen looking good up top.
That's a play where they came right back to Miles. They had thrown one that was almost intercepted, and then they came right back to score.
Jensen again went to the air. Cutler this time, and what a great move here. Did a little spin move and walked into the end zone. That made it 14-7. Then just before half, Wayne Clements, the field goal kicker, knocked one through the uprights. And we went to halftime 14-10. And that was a big kick for the sophomore.
Cutler made a spinning move to get in the end zone after he caught the football. He also made a pretty good move to get in back of the defender to catch the football.
Let's take a look at what happened during the first 30 minutes of play 14-10 your score. First downs even. The rushing yardage a little suspect. 76 yards for Texas, and BYU with a total of 6. But the passing yardage good. Bobby Jensen looking tough there in the early going. And the Cougars lead it now by a score of 14-10. Time of possession, look at that, Jay, almost 3.5 minutes more than Texas there in the first half.
And it started out early in the football game with Texas dominating. The Longhorns had the football early in the football game. They had a 7-0 lead. Looked like they were going to get another 7. But BYU's defense changed that in a hurry.
So Chris Gurman has the ball teed up at the 35-yard line, and back to receive a couple of speedsters in Eric Metcalf and Tony Jones, and a squib kick is going to be taken by the third up man, and he's still on his feet.
Robert Sullivan, number 47, receiving that kickoff.
And that's Robert Sullivan, number 47, a backup linebacker there on special teams. Picks the football up, and Jay, that's the second time Gurman has squibbed it.
I guess they just don't want to get it back to Metcalf and the others. You'd hope that it would get a little deeper than that, perhaps, and it was bobbled for just a moment and then was controlled. Gives them fairly good position to start this drive.
So Sullivan, the linebacker, gets it up to the 36-yard line, and that's where Texas will begin the second half, trailing by 4 points.
Rodney Rice is in the game for BYU. He had a slight sprain of his ankle in the first half while intercepting a pass, but he is out there. Looks like they're going to kick it again. I didn't see the flag down, but they will kick it again. The penalty is against Texas.
So Chris Gurman will get 5 yards on the play and will re-kick it at the 40. Looking again at some more first half stats, Jay. Jensen, we talked about his composure, 11 out of 21, 132 yards. There's Bobby Jensen. Last week against Pitt in the season opener, Jensen came out, threw for 317 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and threw an interception. And of course, the big play was the first play of the game when he hit Zayas with that big 73-yarder just 10 days ago.
And he's playing very well today for Brigham Young University. You know, the 300 yards last week for him was the first time in about 11 games a BYU quarterback had thrown for that many.
Well, 6 seconds ticked off the clock. And Gurman now switches sides. He kicked earlier from across the field. Now he brings it near sideline. And the crowd here in Austin on their feet as Gurman kicks it away for the second time, and this time he gets all of it. And Metcalf just watches that ball bounce on the backside of his own end zone, so Texas will come out and start up at the 20.
Texas had advantage field position-wise early in the football game, eventually made it pay off for a 7-0 lead. Now we'll open the second half with Texas on its own 20-yard line.
Defensively, it's been a pretty rugged game up front. 76 yards gained on the ground by Texas, 6 for Brigham Young. And the Cougars come in with their 3-down lineman rush. Good pressure. Stafford in trouble, and he's swarmed underneath by the strong side linebacker, Thor Salanoa, 6'1", 245. One of the defensive co-captains on this Cougar defense. And Stafford goes down for the 3rd time tonight.
You know, they had difficulty last week handling the rush from Auburn up front. BYU has kept good, solid pressure on Stafford the entire football game.
You saw Craig Patterson there, number 51, come in to help Thor Salanoa. A big loss on the play of 6. And the handoff goes up the middle to Darren Norris, the tailback. And he might pick up a yard on the play. So the Longhorns face now with 3rd and long.
Patterson, Kafusi, Hobbs, all into the stop. I think Hobbs slowed him up for the most part there for BYU. Good defense for the Cougars.
That's one plus about this club, Jay. You know as well as anybody around the WAC, I think teams fear that linebacking core of BYU. 4 good ones headed up there by Von Collin and Thor Salanoa. On 3rd down, the pressure again, and Stafford goes down for the 4th time tonight. And coming up off the pile, Richard Hobbs out of Shelley, Idaho. 6'5", 220, and a senior. And the Cougar defense has come out here with some good-looking plays, I tell you.
They certainly have here. They've forced them into a punting down. They have the field position definitely in the Cougars' favor right now. And O'Brien back to receive a punt. Good play by Richard Hobbs that time.
So Alex waits in. Heavy pressure. The kick is blocked out of bounds. A safety for
That's Hobbs
BYU, and Hobbs, 2 back-to-back plays. And boy, is Hobbs on fire. A 2-point safety, and it makes it now 16-10.
Craig, that was close to a touchdown, too. If they recover in the end zone, but it just did roll out of the end of the end zone. Richard Hobbs.
So with timeout on the field, we'll step aside. The Cougars pick up a couple on the safety, and it's 16-10. We'll be back.
Looking out for number one. Looking out for number one.
Toyota, looking out for you with trucks that can carry their share of the load and more. The Toyota 1-ton, tough enough to outcarry any mid-sized truck. The standard bed with the biggest payload in its class. Toyotas can carry the load and even load what you carry. Toyota, #1 in compact truck sales. Who could ask for anything more?
Toyota.
When the heat's on, you need Haviland Supreme, the oil that's cool under fire. Haviland's viscosity booster helps protect engines against wear under extreme heat and stress. Haviland Supreme, cool under fire.
Right now, get $3 off a case of Haviland Supreme. But act fast before this deal gets away.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by Toyota. Looking out for you has made Toyota #1 in compact truck sales. Who could ask for anything more?
So Texas will have to punt this football away after the safety. And Waits gets a good one downfield, and it's fumbled though by O'Brien, picked up and smothered by BYU.
That's Courtney Rogers who dropped in the ball.
Let's take you back just a few moments ago on the blocked punt by Richard Hobbs. Watch him come in. And a little slow 1-2-3 step left-footed kick there, and Hobbs got his hands on the ball, and it bounces out of bounds for a 2-point safety, and the Cougars come back on offense at the 32-yard line. Giff Nielsen has joined us. Of course, BYU fans remember him as an outstanding quarterback back in the mid-'70s. As I turn my head here and choke myself, but Giff, it's good to have you here as we watch the action down on the field. Giff's going to give us some inside opinions on this Cougar offense here in 1987. And Giff, I'm just going to let you read this little article in the paper we were talking about. This guy says here, his name's Kevin Lytle, now the Austin American, said that this is the worst team Lavelle Edwards has had in a decade.
Well, I don't think it's fair to say that. I think this is a team that's up and coming, and it develops as quickly as a quarterback can handle the offense. We've seen Bob Jensen grow up in the first half, I think, is the best way to say it.
So Jensen, faced with second down, will look to pass the football. Again, good protection, flings it across the middle. Looking for Handley as tight end. Zayas also streaking down the near sideline, but Jensen overthrew his receiver.
We're back.
We're still back.
We're back.
Here.
We're turning around. It's nice to be back. It's nice to see everybody. It's nice to see how everything has changed at BYU in a positive way. You guys doing a great many games on television. It's super.
Having fun, and you're down in Houston doing some TV, right?
Down in Houston doing some television.
I'm going to get untangled here.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to action. Jensen looking at third down. Looking, sideline pass, has his man wide open, a diving grab at about the 42-yard line, but the pass broken up. And still on the ground. Let's check the number here.
That's Miles, Dave Miles.
Miles took a hard hit by John Hagee, the All-American candidate, the free safety out of San Antonio, Texas. And Giff, you've been hit like that a couple of times.
I have been hit like that, and that guy is a good young football player. He can really plant a hit on you, and he showed you in a too-deep zone in this particular case just exactly what he can do if he's got a free shot. Just runs right over the top of the BYU receiver. BYU receiver still down on the field.
There were two plays right here, this one to Miles and also one to Handley just before this when Jensen simply overthrew his receiver.
That's what you call sacrificing the body. Miles, last year, you guys may remember, Miles suffered a couple of fractured ribs. And he took a shot, it looked like that time in the ribs, but he also came down hard on that right shoulder.
You know, I think you can go back and I think you can look and be impressed with the way the BYU defense has played tonight. A lot of people talk about the BYU offense. Even back when I was playing, when Mark Wilson was playing, when Jim McMahon was playing, when Steve Young was playing, when Robbie Bosco was playing, the BYU defense is always the situation in this BYU football program that kind of gets overlooked because of the quarterbacks. But we saw early in the game, in this particular game, how the BYU defense held Texas when Texas had excellent field position and really set up the feeling and the tone for this game. BYU's offense has come alive a little bit, Jensen throwing some good passes, but it's been the defense that's really kept BYU in this football game and really put them ahead.
The applause is for Dave Miles, who now got up and walked off the field by himself. I think he just maybe had his wind knocked out.
I'm not surprised. He took a couple of hard hits in the ribs, and then he fell on that shoulder. Pat Thompson in now to kick this football away, standing on his own 17-yard line. 12:54 to play, third quarter, and the Cougars up 16-10 after getting a safety on Texas' first possession. Metcalf makes a little stutter move to try to get down the sideline, but they mark it out of bounds at the 27.
Thompson kicked it over the sidelines, didn't give him any room to maneuver in that time. He's kind of dangerous when he gets the football again.
Eric Metcalf is an excellent football player, and that's the way you want to kick him when he's back there. You want to put him right on the sideline so he doesn't have anywhere to go but back to the inside. If he takes one step to the outside, he goes out of bounds. You got to credit the Cougar kicker for doing that.
Dave Miles looks like they've got some ice on his rib cage there on the left side.
He'll probably be a little sore tomorrow morning. In motion goes Gabriel Johnson. The quick pass goes out, though, to Jones, the wide receiver. This guy's still on his feet. High steps out of 2 tackles and somehow gets up to the 38-yard line. And Giff, this guy's not what you call big, 5'7", 139.
Well, you got Metcalf and you got Jones that can really fly. And you look at Texas, they love to isolate these guys out in the flat. They will do certain formations just to get the football to these guys and let them do their thing.
He got a good block near the line of scrimmage from Gabriel Johnson, the flanker.
+2, he's got a couple of big guys he's following. Ed Cunningham, 6'7", 295. The handoff goes to Metcalf, tries to sweep it right side. Stiffs arm out of one tackler, and finally knocked out of bounds by number 5. That's Scott Peterson, the free safety. Also there chasing him down was Troy Long and Rodney Rice.
They'd used the quarterback sneak earlier to get first downs in this play. This time they go back to Metcalf.
Got your 3-back offense there, Giff, and stiffs arm out of one, stiffs arm Peterson, but Peterson got him by the shirt tail and dragged him down.
If you had Metcalf back there, why go to the quarterback sneak?
He had 2 men right in front of him, too.
Texas again shifts their offense to an I formation. The quick pass goes to Jones along the near sideline. They try to go one-on-one with Rodney Rice. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if they're trying to see if Rice's ankle's okay after getting it twisted up there late in this first half.
They might be testing him right now, and we've seen in the last 3 plays, isolation plays for the quick guys for the University of Texas. Tony Jones can really get it done. Got a lot of quickness, and that's one thing that is a tremendous advantage when you're playing a game of football.
Second down and 3. They split the backs, and the handoff goes to Darren Norris. Now, you talk about power, 5'9", 195, but he runs more like he weighs about 220. You know, Giff, last week, Jay and I had a chance to see Pitt play, and the Hayward brothers. Now, they're a couple of tough runners.
They really are. I didn't have a chance to see that game. I was working on a story in Houston. We've had a lot of breaking stories lately down there, but I did have a chance to see it. Just a couple of plays, and they are good football players.
They're a little bit bigger than the Texas backs.
There's Dave McWilliams. Spent a year at Texas Tech, and now comes over to take the Longhorns and see if he can turn their program around. Looking for the down and out at the 25. Gabriel Johnson out in the flat, but Stafford forced to throw that ball a little bit early.
That's Richard Hobbs who got in there and jumped right up in front of him, made him throw it up over him.
I didn't notice in the first half, but Stafford has some plays, it looks like, taped to his wrist, on his left wrist.
Sometimes a quarterback will get a code coming from the sideline, and then he'll go right to that code on his wrist, and it'll tell him the play that he wants to call. That's what Stafford is doing.
I formation. The fifth-year senior in trouble. Flush down to the pocket, looking to run. Von Collin on the chase, and hit out of bounds by Thor Salanoa at the 27. And boy, does Salanoa lower the boom on Stafford, and he is down. And as Stafford lays down on the turf, let's check in with Charlene Wells, Hawks.
Craig, it's really noisy down here, but the doctor's checking David Miles right now for concussion. At first, the trainer said, no, he's okay. The wind got knocked out of him. They're holding some ice on his back to maybe help out with a strained back muscle. But they're checking him right now, and we'll find out for you in a little bit.
The crowd getting on Thor Salanoa. Watch the hit by Thor. Wow. That took his head off. You know, I read last week, I think one of the things he has written on his arm, it's something like, keep your cool, is on there along with a couple of plays.
Just simple reminders during the course of a hot and heated game.
Kind of hard to keep your cool tonight. It's hot here.
I forgot how hot and humid it is in this part of the country.
They're going to change quarterbacks. This is Shannon Kelly, a junior, coming out there.
So Kelly, their depth chart puts Donovan Forbes as their number 2 man, but Kelly comes in for Stafford. They line up in the I formation, a simple handoff. The second back through is Metcalf, and he spins his way up to the 22-yard line. It doesn't take much to break Metcalf up for 5 or 6 yards.
That's why the Longhorns like to give it to him, and BYU, knowing that that is the case, keen on Eric Metcalf. He's got such fluid motion, he's got such quick reactions that it's very difficult to get a real clean hit on the guy.
Boy, BYU started off so strong this period defensively, but now they're mixing it up well and moving the ball right downfield.
Shannon Kelly, a 6'1", 170-pound junior out of Houston. He played at Memorial High, goes up top, finds his receiver, Kerry Cash, a freshman. He's one of the identical twin Cashes of Keith and Kerry.
It's Troy Long who brought him down. Troy's had a good game for BYU.
That's a gutsy call to bring a guy in off the bench cold, isn't it, Gift, to throw it up on the second play?
It is, but it's not a very long throw. It's kind of a dangerous throw because you're throwing it to the flat. Very easy for a defensive player to step in front of it. Quarterback would lose his confidence awful fast if a defensive player picked it off and went for a touchdown.
Clock is running, 9:55 to play, third quarter. Cougars lead by 6. Full house backfield, the option play. Kelly's going to keep the football, tries to turn it up off left tackle. Got a couple of yards, but he did get the first down. And this crowd now comes to life as Shannon Kelly comes off the bench to pick up a big first down, and Stafford trots back on.
Shannon Kelly has wanted to play here at the University of Texas. He's out of Houston. I've had a chance to talk to him in the offseason. In fact, he came to me and had me look at his throwing motion. He says he wants to be prepared when he came into a game. He was prepared. He did a nice job while he was in there.
Stafford off the bench after being shook up a bit. Goes up top to his tight end. That's number 82, Stephen Clark. He's a big one, 6'5", 235.
Gift, Shannon Kelly was listed as a wide receiver last spring. Did they try him there?
I think they tried him there, but he wanted to play quarterback. In fact, to give you a little background of Shannon Kelly, guess who he is dating? Mary Lou Retton.
Oh, is
Shannon
that right?
Kelly and Mary Lou Retton. How about that?
Oh, boy. You heard it right here.
There's
Got
a scoop for you
tonight, right?
Second down and 10 at the 16-yard line. Handoff Metcalf. Fumbles the football, and it's picked up.
Richard Hobbs hit him, and it's Scott Peterson who got that bouncing football, but they may rule the ball was down. No, they say it's BYU's ball.
A defensive player cannot advance it if it's over the line of scrimmage, and the Cougars knew that. The defensive player picked it up as Scott Peterson, it looks like, and he stopped right there. That's a well-schooled defense when you know that. In an intense football game, when the opposing team is driving, you pick up a fumble and you don't run for a touchdown, you know you're well-schooled.
That's the 4th fumble tonight by the Texas Longhorns. They've lost 2 of them, and Stafford intercepted 1 tonight. So 3 turnovers for the Longhorns. BYU on the 15-yard line. They lead at 16-10. We'll be back with more action right after this timeout.
Sometimes I wonder if people have a primal, instinctive craving for hamburgers. Something hot, juicy, and so utterly simple that you can eat it with your hands. You can eat it with your hands. I mean, I know people who don't eat burgers, but I'm not sure I trust them.
At Industrial Supply, we believe that little things mean everything. Little things like personal service from a trained professional who can give you the right answer to a question or help you find just the right product. Little things like having the largest inventory of professional tools and supplies in the Mountain West. Little things like representing the very best names in the business. At Industrial Supply, attention to little things is important to us because we know they're important to you. Industrial Supply, the right place for the right tools for you.
The Cougars come back on offense at the 15-yard line. This looks like Gumby getting beat up out there in the stands tonight. Handoff goes left side.
It's Freddie Whittingham.
That's number 23, Whittingham, out of Orange, California. Ken Hackamack, the right tackle, makes the stop after a pickup of 1.
Fred Whittingham's dad, of course, Fred Whittingham Sr. is the linebacker coach for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm heading back to Houston. I will be calling the Houston Oilers Los Angeles Rams game tomorrow. Fred Whittingham is here tonight in the booth, in the radio booth, watching his son play.
Just a little pressure on number 23, maybe just a bit.
If you know how intense Fred Whittingham is, it is.
O'Brien trying to sweep it around the left side, and he is tripped up at the 20-yard line. Give him 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and a long 5. Gerald Senegal and Jay Jaquist make the stop.
And John Hunter opened it up out in front for the Cougars with a block.
And Hunter coming off that broken hand. 3rd down and 5. BYU 3 out of 11 tonight on 3rd down conversions. The backs are split, and Jensen wants to throw. Looking downfield, good protection. Finds his tight end at the 31. And a big grab there by Darren Henley as he beats Paul Bierman, the free safety. 1st and 10, BYU.
There you can see the development of the young quarterback. That time he stood back in the pocket. He had a great deal of trust and faith in his offensive line. He stood there and waited for his big tight end to cross the field. It was a man-to-man pass route and a man-to-man coverage downfield, and that's exactly what you want to do. That's what you look at in a quarterback. You look to see if he picks out the right player to throw to, and he did it that time.
1st and 10. Darren Jefferson in motion. Jensen steps up. He's got speed at the 40 and slides down to the 43-yard line. 1st down again, BYU. Bob Jensen, we talked about this, Jay, at halftime. The maturity. He has improved greatly just since last week.
He likes to run. He reacted quickly on this one. Very quickly, he sees the opening and runs.
Well, what he did is he got a little pressure from the outside. It forced him up in the pocket. He saw he had just a little bit of an opening. This is what I like to see. Bob Jensen not sacrificing his body. He's controlling the course of this ball game right now. If he goes out, BYU has to bring in somebody that has not played very much. So you look at the intelligence of your quarterback also. Bob knows that he has to play, and that's a very smart move to get down.
Paul Bierman, late getting up, shook up on that play.
Gifford, talking to Gifford Nielsen, your television station called us at BYU this week to get some old video of when you played to do some promotional work.
Boy, that would be old video, wouldn't it?
We went back and watched some games with Gifford, but we can't find a basketball one.
You're kidding.
Nope, we don't have a video of basketball.
1st and 10 Cougars. Hanley, the tight end, in motion. Jensen throws that way, but the Texas Longhorn defense reads it perfectly. Gerard Senegal there to sniff out that play, and Hanley might have lost a yard on that particular call.
You know, as you watch Bob Jensen and you watch him in the Pittsburgh game, and then you come back and watch him in the 1st quarter of this game, you can see how much he has grown as far as a quarterback. You know, they used to tell me when I came in the National Football League, you would look downfield in your 1st year and you couldn't see anybody open. Now, you know, after you play a few games, you can see a lot of people open. It looks like he's being able to see that now.
2nd and 10, looking out to the far flat for Freddie Whittingham. Britt Hager, the middle linebacker, and Senegal again on the coverage. And when Jensen seems like, I guess you want to throw the ball longer. If the man isn't open, you want to throw it out of bounds. And so it looks like maybe he's a little bit too strong-armed tonight, but that's a good read.
One of the things you want to do as a quarterback is you always want to have the ball out in front of a receiver. So if he misses, it's going to be out in front of him. If he catches it, he's on a dead run, and he can continue to run and make it more yardage.
Drops back in the shotgun.
First time tonight. 3rd down and long. Jensen handles the snap. Looking downfield, got a man wide open. That's Garen Jeppesen, had the ball at the 34-yard line, but Tony Griffin, the left corner, came in to make the stick just at the right opportune time to break up a big pass play.
Well, it was a good throw by Jensen, and Jeppesen was there, but they were able to strip the ball away from him. Looked like it hit him in the shoulder.
The only thing you can say about Griffin on that play is he was right there. He got in just enough just to knock that ball away.
Pat Thompson at his own 27-yard line will punt it away with 6:34 to go. Flags are down. End-over-end kick, and Metcalf will field it at the 17. Looking for running room. Trips and falls at the 19. But hold on, we got a flag down.
Metcalf brought down by
Richard Hobbs, who's having quite a second half, is the one who tackled Metcalf.
And the penalty will go against BYU. Had some motion there.
Illegal procedure call of some kind. Gift, you remember coming off the bench, your first game at quarterback?
Do I ever? Do I ever against New Mexico? The butterflies in my stomach as I came out on the field, and BYU stadium was jam-packed and we were losing.
Brought him back, which I don't know if that's still a WAC record for the percentage of passes completed, but you had a good second half.
After what has happened since I left, I doubt it's a record anymore. We've had some pretty good players there.
The call goes against BYU, pushes him back 5, so Thompson will have to re-kick it.
Always dangerous if you got Eric Metcalf back there.
Metcalf, 4 returns tonight for 43 yards. And a nice booming kick.
Wow.
And Metcalf's going to let it bounce, and it bounces at the 2 and on into the end zone. So it will be a touchback, and the Longhorns will start up again at the 20-yard line. Timeout on the field. BYU leading 16-10. We'll be right back.
People expect a lot when they visit.
The head housekeeper at the State Line has a big responsibility.
We try to make sure every room's perfect.
Over 200 rooms get her personal touch of approval every single day.
If the room isn't just right, then our guests won't be happy.
Rooms Sunday through Thursday, $32.95. Weekends and holidays, $42.95.
You know, I've heard people say that the nicest rooms in Salt Lake aren't in Salt Lake.
The State Line Hotel, Casino, Convention Center in Wendover.
I think you'll love it.
Michael Martin, I don't even exist in your eyes, because all you see is a person's outside. Well, I'm a beautiful person inside, and I'm drinking milk. Do you know what that means? I'm growing fast in these years.
The milk's given me a lot of what I need for strong bones, beautiful skin, and a great smile. And by the time my outside catches up with my inside, I'll have long since outgrown you.
And you'll be history.
Milk. It does a body good.
Fill your toolbox with professional quality tools and supplies on sale now at Industrial Supply, a sponsor for tonight's game.
And from the end zone, welcome to Memorial Stadium, Austin, Texas. And the Longhorns back on the attack at the 20-yard line. They line up in what they call the double flex. And the quick pass goes to the sideline. It was blocked, picked up by Futrell. And David Futrell, the big nose guard, coming out of nowhere, put a big hand up.
It's Salanoa who deflected it, and Futrell caught it.
So Dave Futrell smelled the end zone and got to within 5 yards of it.
You talk about a herd of buffaloes going towards that end zone.
Futrell has a lot of family here from the El Paso area for this game. So they, well, he's excited about playing in Texas 3 times this year. See, it's Salanoa deflected it.
And the ball laying right in the hands of Dave Futrell. Look at this guy run. Looks like William Perry, doesn't he? takes on a couple of rust jerseys and lowers his shoulder down to the 5.5-yard line, and the Cougars knocking on the door with just over 6 minutes to play. A score here would look mighty big. Jensen on the rollout. He wants to run it. Finds an opening up to the 2-yard line, and Jensen wanted to run from the moment that ball was snapped.
I don't think Lavelle Edwards would have ever sent that play in when I was playing. I don't think I would have ever run anything like that, but Bob Jensen is quite an athlete. The guy can flat out run, and he wanted to get into the end zone that time. Just about cut it up underneath in enough time really to make a touchdown there. Comes up a little bit short.
Clock is running, 5:34 to play, third quarter. The backs are split. They fake the handoff. Jensen wants to run, but the Texas defense won't buy it. Number 92, Lee Beckelman, came up from his strong side linebacking position and got the shoe of Bobby Jensen to take him down. No gain on the play.
It's a bit of a different look for BYU from anything we've seen so far in the game.
Kind of like a student body right and a student body left that we see USC run all the time, except for they're not giving it to the tailback.
Now the Cougars call time, and they'll take the whole offensive unit over the sidelines to talk to the offensive coaches. They want to get in the end zone right now.
Big play with 5:13 to play. Cougars lead it 16-10.
This is my hat. Wear it just about every day. Doesn't look too pretty, but suits me. This is my Yellow Pages, U.S. West Direct. Use it just about every day. I've learned from experience it has more information than any other book in these parts. Now, with all that wear, doesn't look too pretty, but it suits me.
U.S. West Direct, the one that gets used. Each year, more than 1 million tons of plastic are used in the manufacture of automobiles, including those we give our children for Christmas. But shouldn't we be allowed to expect something a little better now that we've grown up? Before you buy another car, be sure you see the Sterling.
And the Texas defense pleading with this crowd to get on their feet. They need a 12th man as the Cougars are faced with third down and goal to goal on the 5-yard line. Big play here for both sides. Cougars lead by 6. Jensen want to go up top. Feels the pressure. Shovels a pass to Whittingham, and he's cut behind the line.
You got to hand it to the Texas defense right here. They were ready. They put the pressure on him.
Leading the way, a couple of big linebackers, Britt Hager and Lee Beckelman.
If you're Bob Jensen in this situation and you don't have your primary receiver, he was trying to make a little bit of something out of nothing. You just throw the ball away in that particular case. If you don't have the receiver open, put that ball in the stands.
Leonard Chitty will come in to try a field goal. They'll mark it down to the 23, a 33-yard attempt to kick up. And it's good. Chitty from 33 yards makes it a 19-10 ball game. So the fumble or the pass interception turns into 3 points. You like to get 6, but 3's not bad.
And the Cougars scoring in the second half, a field goal and a safety so far. The defense has set up all 5 points.
And I think, Jay, it comes back to the situation once again that we talked about earlier about this BYU defense. You hear a lot about the BYU offense and how well they can move the ball and how well they can throw the ball around the field, but it always comes back to a very strong defense. BYU's defense always gets put into a precarious situation because the offense is either going to score very quickly or they're going to be some kind of a turnover, and the BYU defense has to respond in every situation. That is the mark of a good BYU team. You got to have a good defense. And guys, my horse is out there waiting. I got to run. I got to get back to Houston and do that Houston Oilers game tomorrow.
Giff, it's always good to see you. You're welcome in this booth anytime.
Thank you. Go BYU.
All right.
See you, Gifford.
Giff Nielsen, former BYU great. Playing down with the Oilers there for a while, now working as a sportscaster in Houston, Texas. So the Cougars, Jay, 19-10. Plenty of time left though in this game. 4.5 minutes to go, third quarter. And that field goal by Chitty, his first of the season. He was 0 for 2 coming into tonight.
Well, Chitty is definitely an All-American type kicker.
Another squib kick by Gurman. The ball is loose. Who's got it?
BYU thinks they do. They do. They're still fighting for the ball down in that pile on the ground, but the official says you can stop now. It's Brigham Young's football.
You can see Stephen Clark, the tight end, rolling off the pile, and there are some Cougar fans here in Austin tonight. But a flag, Jay, let me call your attention to a flag at the 44-yard line.
Well, the Cougar offensive unit is coming onto the field.
Larry Kaiser doing some celebrating. And you can see Lavelle Edwards there talking to number 28. He's a backup defensive back to Rodney Thomas. There is a flag down, and they're talking it over with number 82.
Craig, it's BYU's
Cutler.
football, but there's a personal foul on the Cougars.
Well, here's the play from the start. And Gurman squibbed it, and it hit off one of the front members of that special team, and then it just goes bouncing all over the place.
Well, the Cougars will have the ball then near midfield, leading by 9 points.
Say the turnover and the penalties at some inopportune times have really hurt the Texas Longhorns tonight. And Davey McWilliams there looking a bit concerned, trailing by 9 with 4:25 to play in the third.
A long time since the Texas team started off the year 0-2.
Number of plays, 4 yards, or 4 plays, and Chitty connected from 33 yards out. Jensen on first down, wants to throw, looking across the middle. He's got his tight end open at the 30. Lowers his shoulder down to the 25. That's Hanley with another big grab.
You know, we kind of expected this tonight, Craig, and talking to the coaches and all, they've worked on it. It's to get the tight end in the football game, and they've succeeded in doing it.
Here's Jensen looking for his big tight end and good protection, and Hanley over the shoulder takes on a couple of hard hits. Let's check in with Charlene on the sideline.
Well, Craig, I came in here to Austin with his parents, with Hanley's parents, and they were telling me about his decision to come here to BYU over Oklahoma, Nebraska. And he said, knowing that Trevor Malini would be here at the time, he said, listen, he's beatable, and he's going for it.
Hanley with some big grabs tonight, 4 in total, and Tui Pelotu, the freshman, gets a handoff, and it works his way up to the 21, 22-yard line, pick up a 2. Britt Hager and Paul Bierman come in to help make the stop.
And for the Cougar fans, Dave Miles is back in the game, so the injury did not keep him out of the football game.
Now whistles on the field as the Cougars line up.
Not sure what it is.
I think the 25-second clock had malfunctioned. Now they reset it. Jensen's stats tonight, 14 of 29 for 169 yards. A little counter play. Now Jensen decides to keep it on the bootleg and heads towards that first down marker at the 16-yard line. He's going to be about a yard shy. But a gutsy call as Jensen has run the football a lot here in the second half. Oscar Giles, the left end, chased him out of bounds.
He fooled him with that one too, Craig. It was very deceptive ball handling. Everybody went to the left except Jensen. He came back to the right.
Third down and a foot. They bring in an extra tight end. That's Travis Macbeth, number 89. So they'll go double tight. And they bring O'Brien in as the other back. They hand it off to Harrington, and he is stacked up. I don't think he got it. Britt Hager, big number 60, stood him up.
Well, he really stacked up the middle that time. There was very little gain on the play, as Craig pointed out. I don't know if it's close enough to have to measure or not. I don't think so.
Look at the surge on this line. That's a lot of beef. And Whittingham, stacked up by Hager, stood him straight up. And then the rest of the Longhorns come in to help out. Jared Senegal also there. And another field goal attempt by Chitty. This one again from 33. And for the second time in a row, Chitty puts it right through the uprights, and the Cougars now lead by a score of 22-10.
And a squib kick helped set that one up, gave the Cougars the ball at midfield. The big pass to Hanley got them good yardage, and they settled for the field goal.
So Leonard Chitty drives that ball through the uprights, and he's happy about it. The Cougars, Jay, in the last couple of minutes, tack on 6 more, 2 33-yard field goals by Chitty.
You didn't have to watch the football. All you had to do is watch Leonard Chitty, and you knew it was through there. Craig, they've been able to hold the Texas team scoreless here in the second half so far. In fact, Texas scored to lead 7-0 and got a field goal right at the end of the first half. Other than that, BYU's defense has really held them intact.
Now, recapping the scoring, Stafford, a 1-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Then Jensen came back in the second quarter to hit Miles to make it 7-all. And then the Cougars went into halftime leading by 14-7. Jensen to Cutler. And since then, we've gotten a safety and 2 field goals by BYU here in the second half. And Gurman again is going to squib it. Texas having trouble holding on to the football. It's picked up by number 23, Chris Samuels, and he's tackled down at the 33-yard line. So I guess now, Jay, the philosophy as we watch some Hook'em Horn fans that they want to keep the ball away from the 2 speedsters.
They simply are not going to give the football to them right now, are they? Not let them have a free run upfield.
Here's the scoring drive. 5 plays, 21 yards. Took him 2 minutes and a 33-yard field goal by Leonard Chitty. Turnovers tonight, Jay. This tells the story. The Longhorns, 5 turnovers, BYU 1. The pass goes out to Tony Jones. It hit him in the shoulder pads, and he drops it.
The pass intended for number 4, Tony Jones.
The old thing, he simply turned to run before he caught the football.
It's coming right in your living room. Jones turns around, hits him on the shoulder pad.
139-pound running back, but he can go. They've got some burners. Rice, watching him, maybe hobbling a little bit. He turned an ankle in the first half on an interception.
Metcalf goes in motion. Stafford 3-drop, step back, finds Jones, fumbles a football, and Rice has it at the 41-yard line. Turnover number 6.
You can't live with that many turnovers, Craig, very long. Not in college football.
And Rodney Rice limping off the field, still favoring that ankle. But Rice there to pick up the loose football. And oh boy, that hurts the Texas Longhorns. And the fans here are quiet.
Interception and a fumble recovery for Rodney Rice.
Jones just basically lost his balance, tried to put a hand down and drop the football in the process. So the Cougars with a chance to tack on more here on the Texas 41-yard line.
First and 10 for Brigham Young.
It's 22-10. And Jensen in the shotgun. Calls timeout. Didn't like the Longhorn setup, so he'll walk over and talk to Lavelle Edwards and company.
He looked over to the right to his receivers there. There was something he did not like that he saw out there and called time.
Looks like Texas had come up with like a 7-man front as well. And
you know, one thing, Bob Jensen, the one ability he does have, Craig, he's tall. And I was impressed last week against Pittsburgh, and you've seen it again today. It seems like he has pretty good vision out there. He sees the open man.
Charlene Wells is trying to stay cool on the sideline. Charlene?
Well, Craig, you have to take a look at this Bevo over here. That's the name of the Texas mascot. This is a Longhorn, and he doesn't have much to get excited about right now. But let me tell you about Bevo number 1. It started back in 1916 at a Texas A&M game, and then in 1921, this is a sad story, 1921 at a Texas A&M get-together, they served him up for dinner. Well, Bevo number 12 shouldn't have that to look forward to, though.
I tell you, Charlene, I'd hate to be the guys trying to keep that animal calm.
They probably have him on something, Craig.
So that's Bevo. Cougars back on the attack, looking for the home run ball. He's got Zayas, and it's knocked away at the last minute by Tony Griffin. He's come up with a couple of big plays tonight, but Rich Zayas, the All-American junior college from Grossmont, JC, out in California, burning down the sideline, but a good defensive effort by the left cornerback Griffin to get that hand in there.
Well, that was a good defensive play. A nice throw by Bob Jensen. Looked like the Cougars might get 6 out of it. Simply one-on-one coverage. Texas plays pretty much man-to-man coverage.
Griffin, a senior, coming up with a big play there. 2nd down and 10. 2 minutes, 3 seconds to play. 3rd quarter. Jensen again, good protection. That's been the key in the 2nd half. Steps out of 1 tackle. Now he's downed at the 38-yard line. Steve Llewellyn, the left tackle there, to put the pressure on Jensen.
We can't say enough about Warren Wheat, John Hunter, Brian Rodoni, John Borgia, Brian White in this game. The offensive line has played exceptionally well.
Bobby Jensen, 11 carries, picked up 17 yards. 3rd down and 7 yards for the 1st down.
This Texas defense is playing some pretty good D at this point.
Jensen's pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage and nearly picked off by Britt Hager. He's been all over the field tonight. He's a good-looking linebacker.
Intended for Freddie Whittingham, but the pass didn't get to him. Hager a little bit mad at himself. Thought maybe he had a chance to intercept that one.
This is what Hager saw, Jay. Picked up Whittingham out of the backfield and just almost got the fingers on it and picked it off. Hager out of Odessa, Texas. 6'1", 225. They call him the magnet. He's all over the place. So Thompson lets the 25-second clock tick away, and that's not a bad move. He'll give him a little bit more room to work with on the punt.
A lot of the is going to depend on this young man and his foot the remainder of this football game. Cougars will want to keep good field position, and they've got to depend on Thompson to keep that ball away from Macbeth and the other speedsters Texas has.
Well, BYU tried to get the 5 yards, but Texas declined the penalty, so the ball will stay put on the 39-yard line. So Thompson at the 46. And back to receive at his own 10, Metcalf. High snap. Thompson, just a little dinger down to the 8, and he's going to coffin corner it. They've got it at the 2 and down it at the 1.
Craig, we understand San Diego State leads Utah 14-0 3 minutes into the game. So very early in the ball game, San Diego State ahead.
Get after it. Now you've got victory.
There's Roger French, the Cougar offensive coordinator. Well, he brings his kids together. They like him. They like to play for him.
You got to be alert for it. You got to be up and move with it. You got to keep your head in the game. You got to
be proud of his players.
Well, you can still hear him. He's emotional. Stafford back on the 5-yard line. That's where they marked it. They give it to the back off the left tackle.
Craig, the Cougars have really got him in the hole right now.
That's Darrell Taylor, the big fullback. 5'10", 196, a junior. There's that armband I was talking about, Jay, on Stafford's left wrist. Stafford brings the team back up to the 8-yard line after a gain of 2. Full house backfield. The handoff goes to Norris. Finds some running room, busts one tackler, then slips and falls at the 17-yard line.
He was shut off to the outside that time, so he just sort of stopped, shot right up the middle, and turned it into a gainer, running for daylight.
In these tough yardage situations, Texas will go with the 3-back offense, and the second guy through was the big fullback Norris. We've got a man down, and while they attend to him, let's talk to Charlene Wells.
Greg, just a note on Dave Futrell, the Cougar nose guard. You know, he is from Texas, from El Paso, Texas, and, you know, he received a lot of heat from Texas fans, Texas alumni, when he decided to go to BYU rather than stay in Texas. There's a lot of pressure on Texas high school standouts to stay here in Texas and play college ball. So he wanted to show the Texas fans a little something, and he certainly did.
Boy, Futrell might put him in the backfield. He can run after making that interception.
You know, Texas has not lost their first 2 games since 1967, when USC and Texas Tech beat them, and that year they were 6-4.
And the injured player, Brian Nielsen, number 76, out of Deer Park, Texas, And Jay, a note I have on this young man, suffered a spring knee injury, and you can see the brace on that left knee. And that's the injury in football you hate to see, the knee injury.
He's the 305-pounder.
You got to have some strong knees.
Well, he's been playing hurt. He was playing hurt last week against Auburn, and it doesn't look very good as they take him out of the game.
Darren Norris, who just ran that football, now 7 carries for 82 yards. So Norris having a good night. I formation. Stafford looking to pass. Thor Salanoa on him like a blanket in his grasp and finally buries him to the turf at the 12. Thor Salanoa having a big game.
Interesting play by Thor. He went up to block the attempted pass. While he was still in the air, he reached down and grabbed his jersey.
Thor Salanoa, he's a strong one.
Look at him go up in the air and just grabs him.
Here's a guy who's played a couple positions for BYU.
He started as a fullback. Hey, that ends the third quarter then.
So the teams will walk down to the other end of this field at Memorial Stadium, and the Cougars leading by 12, 22-10.
There's a clearance at your Chrysler Plymouth store, and it's sending all our new cars out the door. Everything goes. Everything goes.
Hurry in now for the best deals of the year on Chrysler New Yorker. Get financing as low as 1.9% or $500 cash back, and get the 770 protection plan.
Everything goes.
See Leighton Hill, Doug Smith, Rick Warner, Larry Miller, Rocky Mountain, and Canyon, your Utah Super 6 dealers.
Drop into the valley. Drop into the valley.
People who live in Utah's valleys have grown accustomed to the convenience of another valley, Valley Bank. For banking that's close to you.
We're the Valley Banks, and we really want to be your bank.
Whatever happened to real food? You know the kind that just tastes real good. Don't want a dinner I can't pronounce. By the ounce. Whatever happened to real food? You know the kind that just tastes real good. Give me a steak that I won't be through. I got a taste for some real food.
Beef, real food for real people.
There are nearly 4,000 members of the BYU Cougar Club throughout the country viewing and listening to today's ball game. BYU's Cougar Club is the largest booster organization in the Western Athletic Conference, and you can become a member. Call 378-BLUE for information.
Texas back on offense. A handoff goes to Metcalf. The scat back in trouble. Up to the 19-yard line, and folks, he did that all on his own.
He got away from a man. Was it Regan Hansen?
Hansen was there, and then finally Kamfusi got him around the ankles to drag him down to the turf. But this is what you call nimble feet.
See, he comes back there. Yeah, it's...
Eric Metcalf, 5'9", 178. And I tell you, he is a tough cookie. 12 carries tonight, 45 yards.
It was Tim Clark who had a shot at him and didn't get him back there.
Metcalf in motion. Now they go near sideline to the other speedster. That's Tony Jones. And Jones all night having trouble hanging on to that football, but I will say that ball was thrown a little bit outside of his reach.
Well, he had to. Dave Futrell was looking him right in his face mask.
So the Texas crowd disappointed again as Alex Waits comes in to kick this football from his own 5-yard line. Mike O'Brien back at the 33 to receive it. Low snap, fumbles the football, still has time to kick it away, and the left footer gets a nice kick. At the 32 is O'Brien in trouble. Spins out of one tackle and finally driven down at the 40.
O'Brien receiving that kick.
BYU's got a pretty good runner right there, too.
O'Brien is a tough one. 14 minutes to play. 22-10. BYU in front.
The factory-authorized clearance is on now.
Westland Ford, Ed Kenley Ford, Willie Ford.
1.9 financing or up to $700 cash back on the best-selling Fords. Taurus, Tempo, Escort, Thunderbird.
Rick Warner Ford, Valley Ford, Butterfield Ford.
All with Ford 660 warranty. Your Wasatch Front Ford dealers must make room for the 88.
Henry Day Ford, Tri-City Ford, Gibbon Ford.
1.9 financing, great clearance deals. The Ford factory-authorized clearance sale.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
CDS Computer Center has a computer smart tip for you. If you could have a high-performance vehicle for about the same price as a basic economy model, which would you choose? Of course, you'd pick an NEC PowerMate, an AT-class computer with the power to take you to the limits, yet comparably priced to a typical PC, now at CDS Computer Center. Come in and see the advantages of the NEC for yourself today. Count on CDS Computer Center for great prices on great products and computer smart ideas to keep you in the lead. CDS Computer Center, 5316 South State.
And the Longhorns trying to find some answers. Let's see if Charlene Wells has them. Charlene?
Well, Craig, they just took Brent Nielsen into the locker room, and they're going to be taking him for x-rays. His left ankle, he's the offensive guard for the Longhorns. His left ankle, they think it might be sprained, but just be sure they'll x-ray it. He's done for the day, though. Craig?
All right, Tom. Peter Tuipulotu gets the handoff left side. Roger Fritcher, the backup left tackle, makes the stop, and Tuipulotu not has seen a lot of action tonight. And O'Brien's back in the game.
Good slashing run that time. Craig, you'd have to wonder in the humidity tonight, will it affect either one of these teams? Will they tire? I don't know. BYU seems pretty strong at this point.
It is a hot and humid night in Austin, Texas. 45-yard line. Cougars wanting to throw. Jensen in trouble, and he's going to be pulled down from behind. Number 92 there to make the stop, Lee Beckelman.
Of course, there's one thing BYU would like to do right now, and that's keep the clock running. And as long as they can get yardage running the football, they can run some time off. That's to their advantage.
You can guarantee that Texas will be trying to swipe at the football, trying to force a fumble. That's the second sack on Jensen tonight. Third down and 7. Far sideline, and Whittingham is hit. The ball is caught. They say incomplete, and that brings a roar of disapproval from this Texas Longhorn crowd. And I don't know. Whittingham turned, but he got hit just at about the same time.
He catches the football. It's a first down.
Stanley Richard put the stick on him. Number 18, he's a freshman. He's a high school high hurdler, and he's got some speed, but folks, look at the way he drives that shoulder into Whittingham.
I don't know, that was pretty close. That's one that could be called either way.
So Thompson in to punt the football. Metcalf back to receive, and a nice kick by Thompson. Metcalf signaling for the fair catch, and the ball down at the 17-yard line. 12:35 to play in Austin, and the Cougars lead it by 12, 22-10.
Save now at Klein's Mazda. Klein's has 323, 626, RX-7, and the all-new four-wheel drive pickups. Klein's has the best selection, and nobody beats Klein's deals.
Hey, guys, shouldn't be giving me a hard time. I mean, I may not be so big now.
But I'm drinking milk, because in these years I'm growing faster than I ever will again. And I need milk's calcium for bones.
And protein for muscle, more now than I ever did as a kid. In fact, this is how I'm gonna look when I'm 19. I don't forget a name or a face. I'll probably have forgiven you guys by then.
But you never can tell.
Milk, it does a body good.
Over the years, a lot has changed. But one thing hasn't: the great taste of lean budding meats.
Right now at Doug Smith Chrysler Plymouth, you can buy a 1987 Sundance for $99 down and $184 per month for 60 months. Why wait? Your Sundance is at Doug Smith's right now.
Nothing's more delicious than Utah-made ice cream, so don't miss the Ice Cream Festival at the Utah State Fair Monday the 14th. A message from the dairy farmers of Utah who are bringing you tonight's game.
And there's a look at Brett Stafford. Quarterback for Texas, a fifth-year senior, trying to bring his club back. They trail 22-10. They're going to pitch. No, he keeps it on the option, and he turns it upfield, and Dave Futrell falls on him at the 19. Also there off the pile, Richard Hobbs. Tell you what, he's got to be considered to be one of the defensive honors of the night. He has played extremely well.
He's had a great football game. Tim Clark was out there. They ran the option. Clark was out in front of him and forced him inside.
Oh, we've seen the option. We've seen the full house backfield. We've seen counter plays, the flex offense. Texas doing it all tonight, trying to get their offense in gear.
What if they've got a halfback pass, Craig?
They line up double slot to the left, quick pass downfield, and Rodney Rice intercepts it at the 45-yard line. His second interception of the night, his third on the year.
Give some credit to Clark and Futrell for putting the pressure on. Looks like Rice might be hurt again.
Rodney Rice, after making the interception, is down, and it looks like he's holding his left elbow. But look at the pressure here put on by BYU. Stafford here in the second half especially, Jay. No time to pass. Futrell on him like a train.
Well, Rodney Rice has 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery, and I think he has an injured arm right now, too.
Well, he came down and landed on that elbow, trying to support the fall. I don't know if it was a wrist or an elbow, but George Curtis and the trainers are out to take a look at Rodney Rice. He's been beat up tonight, but what a game. 2 interceptions, had that sprained ankle, and now he's got the bad elbow.
Well, you got to be impressed with him. You know, the coaches have said about Rodney, the one thing they like about him is he has catch-up speed. They like him as a defensive back. He can catch up to the offense.
Let's check to see on the next series who he will be replaced by, but Rodney Rice, definitely shook up on that play. Kirk Davis is his backup.
They have Darren Lambert who can play there, but they've been hoping to redshirt him.
It's been a tough night for Stafford as Jensen now goes back to work. Play action to Hanley, the tight end. At the 35, trips and falls down to the 34-yard line. Paul Bierman, the backup free safety there, and Hanley is having a good night at tight end.
Hanley and Jensen kind of playing catch tonight. Well, you know the BYU offense is working when the tight end catches a lot of passes.
This Texas defense has been on the field, Jay, a lot tonight. You mentioned the fact you wonder if the humidity and heat may have caught up, and they look a little sluggish.
The Cougars are pointing to somebody in their huddle. Rodoni is pointing to a BYU player and says the Cougars have an injured player.
And it looks like Hanley.
So the trainers will come out on the field to check Darren Hanley now.
Hanley on the night, we talked about how big an evening he's had. 5 receptions for 70 yards. And Darren Hanley taking some shots tonight. He kind of walked back in the huddle and just kind of went to a knee. There's a look at Rodney Rice.
Hanley was a 3-sport star at Alva High School, an all-stater.
Out of Sandy, Utah. And there's a look at Lavelle Edwards. Head coach of BYU, his 16th year. Cougars 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Jensen again looking up top. Rolling out of trouble, chased from behind, and he will be hogtied by number 87, Mark Steed, a freshman out of Houston, Texas.
Big play by the Texas team. They chased him to his left, made it very hard for him to get a pass off. It looked like Whittingham may have been open downfield, but he couldn't see him. Keeps the clock going, though. See, they chase him over to his left.
Well, Jensen has been a busy man tonight. Has run this BYU offense with a lot of authority. Now the shotgun. The snap is low. Bobby picks it up. Wants to throw again. Looking across the middle, and a diving grab made at the 30. Chuck Cutler makes the grab. The coaching staff, you may have heard, said no, he trapped the football, but the official right there on the spot said nope, he made the catch. Gerard Senegal on the coverage. Let's check in with Charlene and an injury report on Rodney Rice.
Well, Craig, once again, Rice is back on the bench, this time with a dislocated elbow, and boy, is he in pain. As soon as they pulled him off the bench, they wrapped up his arm with tape and with ice, of course, and then just popped it back in. He didn't like that too much.
About 7 innings for the
So Rodney Rice out for the night as Jensen drops back again on third down. Looking up atop to Hanley, makes the grab, and down at the 8-yard line. They mark it at the 6, and Hanley, shaken up just moments ago, comes back on the field. But hold on, a flag down at the 40, and it looks like a hold against BYU.
That's about the first holding call of the football game, and it comes at a very key time right now. A fine catch by Hanley downfield, too. The ball, it looked like it was tipped just a bit, and he still got it.
On the offense,
Here's Hager coming in on the blitz, trying to put some pressure on Jensen. Picked up there by Rodoni, but he keeps coming. And Jensen just able to get that football away. So the penalty pushes BYU back to the 41. It's third down and 17.
To the 41-yard line.
Bobby wants to throw again. The catch made, fumbled at the 9-yard line, and they say incomplete. Make that the 16.
Well, that would have been a first down again. That's Cutler. Looked like he had it.
On the replay, Bob Jensen. Good protection again and good field vision, and he goes down to Cutler. Had it for a moment, but the ball pops out of his arms, incomplete.
Cougars have had a lot of those in this football game, Craig.
Pat Thompson will kick it from his own 45, trying to angle it to the corner. And that ball will bounce in the end zone for a touchback. Penalties tonight, Texas 5 for 35 yards, and BYU 3 for 30. So with 9:22 to play, the Cougars leading 22-10.
Looking out for number one. Looking out for number one.
Toyota, looking out for you with a Toyota standard bed truck. Built to work hard and play hard. Quality makes it a Toyota. Price makes it a great buy.
Looking out for number one.
Looking out for you with long-lasting Toyota quality has made Toyota #1 in compact truck sales. Who could ask for anything more?
Reflect your company's excellence with office furnishings from FDC, 3578 South State in Salt Lake.
Texas Longhorns trying to come back. They trail by 12. 9:22 to play, and Stafford remains in. No, they checked that. They've got a quarterback change. That's Kelly looking downfield to his wide receiver, Johnny Walker. Ball falls incomplete.
And that's Kirk Davis who made the hit and prevented the reception, and Kirk came in to replace Rodney Rice, who dislocated his elbow.
So Shannon Kelly.
Hey, here's a first quarter score. San Diego State 28, Utah 14 at the end of the first quarter.
Kelly drops back, looking to go into the air. Finds a receiver, and he's hit. Walker at the 33, and he's upended by number 43. Kirk Davis, who just came in to replace Rodney Rice at left corner. So they're going to pick on Davis to see what they can get from him.
That was a good catch. Hanging on to it, Johnny Walker. He was hit hard as he went up to get the football.
Kelly replaces Brett Stafford, who started this game at quarterback. 8:56 and counting left in the fourth quarter. Backs are split. Kelly wants to throw. Looking near sideline. The catch is made by Gabriel Johnson, and the crowd comes to life as he works his way up to the 48. Charlene, I believe, has made her way into the stands to talk to some Longhorn fans. You surviving down there?
Well, Craig, we had to look hard to find these Longhorn fans, but boy, we found them. Okay, what does this mean?
Horns! Look at horns!
Look at horns. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think a comeback is possible?
Oh, yeah, right now. We're back. We're back already. We got it.
There's your answer, Craig.
All right, the pass goes out once again to Walker. Good coverage there by Davis, who almost picked that football off. So the Texas Longhorns going up top, trying to play catch-up with 8:26 to play.
Cougars blitzing a bit that time. They sent a linebacker in on top of Kelly. He threw quickly. And Davis, a good play, as you pointed out, Craig. Almost picked it up.
Kirk Davis, a junior out of San Jose, California. Played his junior college football at Rick's JC. They got a slot to the left. Kelly wants to throw again to the sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds. Now delayed flags come in as Jones was given a pretty good shot right on the sideline.
It's Rodney Thomas who's over there. The Cougars questioning the call. Now the officials are talking about it.
That's a personal foul call against BYU.
A lot of time left in this fourth quarter, Craig. Of course, the Texas team needs to score twice to take the lead.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns would put it 24-22.
It's got to be 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. So the penalty moves the ball down to the 38-yard line of BYU, 1st and 10. Kelly on the rollout. Looking for Walker again, but throws the ball high and out of bounds. So the clock will stop with 8:14 to play.
And he had Tim Clark and Thor Salanoa chasing him towards the sidelines. Unloaded it, threw it out of bounds. Still 8:14 left to play in this football game.
You know, Stafford read his plays off the wrist, and you can see that Shannon Kelly is doing the same thing. 3 on a 7, 31 yards. They line up a slot to the right. The second man through is Metcalf. Turns on the afterburners down to the 20.
Good call by Texas. They opened up a big hole in the middle of the line that time. BYU looking pass. Scott Peterson saved it.
And Metcalf, the first time this half really that he's had a chance to break free. Little counter play, and look at the explosive speed. His daddy kind of ran the same way. So a 1st and 10 at the 21. And Shannon Kelly off the bench leading Texas downfield. Wants to throw, and the catch is made. Keith Cash, a freshman, makes his first grab of the night.
He had Rodney Thomas right on his back. It looked like they both caught the football, but Cash was able to keep it.
Cash, who has a brother, Kerry, they're identical twins, and he comes up with a big grab here. 6'4", 200-pound freshman. And Texas on the verge of getting back in this football game. Kelly looking for the quick drop, flings it out to the tight end. Clark had it, but dropped it at the 9.
Well, it was covered by Troy Long. They're passing very quickly right now. The Cougars have had a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. It looks like Kelly has a quick release.
Well, Shannon Kelly, 4 out of 9, 43 yards. He is a junior out of Houston. Giff Nielsen said he knew of him. Played at Memorial High School. The lone back is Darren Norris, and he's had a big game. Another quick drop pass. He pumps once, and now he's going to be down inside the 10-yard line at about the 8. Kelly wanted that quick little out to the end zone, but BYU on good coverage forced him to try to turn it upfield for a run.
And it was Davis and Long who had the 2 intended receivers covered out there, including Johnny Walker, who was in the end zone, but he had Davis right with him.
3rd down and 9 to go. They send Metcalf in motion, and the throw goes to the end zone, picked off. BYU at the 2.
The pressure on the quarterback came from Dwayne Johnson, a Cougar linebacker.
Troy Long with the interception. He's the junior out of Sandy, Utah.
Turnover after turnover, Craig.
Well, I tell you, when McWilliams, the head coach of Texas, looks back at this football game, the turnover will really hurt you. I believe that's the 7th time they've either fumbled or the ball intercepted.
One is Johnny Walker, but that's Troy Long right in front of him and Kirk Davis right in back of him.
You notice they keep picking on Kirk Davis on this particular series. That's 8 turnovers tonight by Texas. So now the Cougars trying to run some clock. Whittingham breaks off the left side and pushed out of bounds at the 11-yard line. John Hagee, the free safety, comes up to push him out. But a big gainer there for BYU on 1st and 10.
Pretty good play by the Cougars. They could have kept it in bounds, kept the clock going. Look at the turnover margin. You know, BYU last year was hurt by turnovers. They were hurt by turnovers in the Pittsburgh game.
Tonight, 8 times they have turned it over, 4 fumbles and 4 interceptions. BYU 1 turnover, and that was a Bob Jensen interception earlier. Whittingham still on his feet. The clock will continue to roll at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 BYU. And that's a big 1st down, Jay, considering they were down deep in their own territory.
You know, let's wonder if they are tiring a little. Watch Whittingham just run right through a couple of tacklers. See, he slips one there, he slips another one there, and he slips another one. That's the best run that he's had in the football game. It's a big 1st down play for BYU.
Jay Jaquist, number 91, trying to hang on, but Whittingham able to break out of the tackle. Again, Whittingham gets the call, and he gets up to the 24-yard line. BYU content just to let the clock tick away.
It's O'Brien that time, Craig.
Steve Llewellyn.
They faked it and then went to O'Brien. Well, the big thing they're doing, got that clock running.
Got the clock running at 5:40. 22-10, BYU in front.
Number 93 on the stop.
So a key interception by Long down there, the 3-yard line, and BYU has not given up a point in the 2nd half.
It was 14-10 at the half, and the Cougars now lead 22-10. They run the football again off the left side behind John Hunter and Warren Wheat.
Boy, big John Borgia gets up, hobbling a little bit. He's playing on a mighty sore ankle and foot. What a lot of courage from this young man. We've got some fans starting to leave, Craig.
65,000 on hand tonight. Texas on the verge of going 0-2. Jensen hands off to Tui Pelotu and whistles and flags down as soon as the handoff goes into Tui Pelotu's hand. Maybe the 25-second clock ran out.
Texas Tech, 26. Colorado State, 24.
Well, it's a procedural call against BYU, illegal procedure.
That moves the ball back down to the 22.
Craig, right next week, BYU comes right back to Texas, playing Texas Christian, a team that lost to the Air Force Academy today.
We'll be here with that game.
Next week, it's a half hour later starting time than tonight's game.
Still 4:38 to play here, Jay, but the Cougars looking at a very tough road schedule after losing to Pitt last week to play Texas, then TCU, and then New Mexico 3 weeks in a row. A road win here tonight, a big one. The quarterback keeper and Jensen will fall up to the 30. He might have gotten the 1st down.
Well, there's a play we haven't seen tonight, but it's one BYU's had in the book. Quarterback takes a step to the left and straight forward.
There's an emotional Bob Jensen. And there is a distraught David McWilliams. No question that Jensen was going to run this ball right from the snap.
49, Kansas 0.
Just enough yardage for the first down. Big play for the Cougars. Boy, the clock going. Time now a big factor, 4 minutes.
14 carries, 11 yards, but those have been 11 big ones. Backfield is split, and the handoff goes to Whittingham. He tries the left side, no place to roam.
Number 23, Fred Whittingham.
And the Texas defense still hanging tough. Dwayne Duncombe, the weak side linebacker, the first to put a hand on Whittingham.
O'Brien, the halfback, out there helping with the block. John Hunter also there. And Craig, we've got a lot of the fans right in front of us who've decided this game's over.
Line of scrimmage is the...
You know, Texas had won 17 of 18 home openers. Their only loss was last year to Stanford. So this would be 2 in a row they have lost after winning 17 home openers in a row. Tui Pelotu gets the handoff. He is tripped up, fumbles the football, but they will whistle the ball down at the 34. 3rd down and long with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to play.
If they had ruled it a fumble, Travis Macbeth recovered it about 5 yards forward. Down to the 3-minute mark right now. And Brigham Young University is playing some smart football.
Tui Pelotu will check out along with Miles, and Cutler comes back in.
I like Gifford's comment today, Craig, that BYU will grow as the quarterback learns the system and as he improves.
Handoff again, right up the middle to O'Brien, close to the first down mark. You're at the 39. Clock continues to tick. 2:33 to play, and Texas wants timeout. That forces a 4th down, and BYU will come in to punt. So with 2:31 to play, the Cougars lead by 12, 22-10.
Sometimes you feel a little Mexican. And when you feel a little Mexican, try Chi-Chi's new special dinners. A tasty taquito, crunchy taco, zesty enchilada, in beef and new seafood or chicken. And for a limited time, free sopapillas for dessert. At Chi-Chi's. When you feel a little Mexican.
It's Utah's biggest sales event of the year. Dusty's Grand Closeout Sale this Friday and Saturday only at the Layton Hills Mall. All remaining 87 vans plus over 100 used cars from both Dusty's locations at the Layton Hills Mall, where they'll be sacrificed at closeout prices. Drive away in the new 1987 model custom van for as low as $12,995. $500 cash back with any purchase. Low credit union financing is available on the spot. There's free hot dogs, Pepsi, balloons, and a clown. Dusty's Closeout Sale this Friday and Saturday at Layton Hills Mall.
The Utah Beef Council is one of our sponsors for College Football 1987. Beef, real food for real people.
And there's a look at Chris Gurman on the sideline. He's a happy fella. Pat Thompson in to punt the football away. 10 punts tonight for Thompson. Flags are down, a 41.9 average. This kick, a good one, angling to the near corner, and it bounces out of bounds at the 7. Make that the 8-yard line, but hold on, a flag down at the 34. I want to remind you that the Utah Jazz will meet the Boston Celtics in a preseason game Friday, October 30th at the BYU Marriott Center. Tickets go on sale Monday, September 14th at the Marriott Center, the Salt Palace, and all Smith Tick locations. Jay, that should be a fun game to watch.
Well, there's a lot of interest in that. You know, we bring back the old BYU basketball players, Ainge and Kite and Roberts, so there's a lot of excitement in that one.
That is a preseason matchup at the Marriott Center, the Jazz and the Celtics. Let's check in with Charlene.
Greg, I just spoke with David Miles, and he asked me if I wouldn't inform his wife and his mother that he was just hit hard, he was dizzy, but he's now okay.
Okay, we'll tell him he's dizzy.
Yeah.
We're glad to hear that. Dave, a fine young man and a good player.
The penalty pushes BYU back to the 34, and Thompson will have to kick it again.
Well, he had a great punt there, too, out of bounds on the 4-yard line.
Metcalf back to receive.
They've got 3 men back, 2 to block for him. They're looking for a return.
And Thompson gets a nice towering kick. Metcalf will settle underneath it at the 25, looks towards the near sideline. Good return up to the 41. I'll say Metcalf just has that ability to turn really nothing into something.
Dwayne Johnson tackled him. Craig, BYU has covered pretty well on this young man since early in the football game.
So Shannon Kelly returns to the lineup. Brett Stafford, the fifth-year senior, remains on the bench. I don't believe he was injured, Jay. I think it was just a coaching change. And Kelly got the Longhorns downfield in a hurry on their last possession, but threw the interception. Kelly in the pocket, steps it, fires it to Jones in traffic. And he's finally pulled down by Peterson at the 37. I don't know how Kelly got that ball in there. 3 Cougars around number 4, Tony Jones.
And Jones is hobbling as he comes off the field. He really zipped the ball upfield.
Hurry up offense. They reset the chains. 1st and 10. Kelly again to the air. Finds his receiver, Gabriel Johnson. And he is marked down at the 33-yard line. So a quick hurry-up offense, and the Longhorns are moving downfield in a hurry. 1:43 to play, and the Cougars still by 12. Delayed draw, Metcalf, big hole, turns on the speed. And finally, driven to the turf at the 23-yard line.
Peterson and Long once again. Long's been all over the field for BYU. Only a minute and a half to play in this football game.
Split backfield. Kelly rolling to his left, looking for the catch, and it's made at the 9-yard line. Keith Cash, the freshman, coming up with a couple of big grabs here late in the ball game, and Texas refuses to give up. They're on the 8-yard line, 1st and 10, goal to goal. And the clock did stop as they reset the chains. The delayed draw, Metcalf, big hole, he's going to score. Right side, but he's pulled down by Long. I thought he had the corner turn, but Troy Long coming up.
I think Kirk Davis helped turn him out there, too.
Metcalf was a half a step from getting in for 6, but Troy Long pulled him down. And the Cougars are trying to hold on here, preserving the 22-10 lead.
Texas will take advantage of one of the 2 remaining timeouts they have.
I want to mention that KSL's Blue Cross Blue Shield player of the game is Bob Jensen. Now, during the coaches show on Channel 5 Sunday night, if your postcard is picked for first place and you've included Bob Jensen's name, you'll be eligible for a $50 bonus. So congratulations to Bob Jensen, the KSL Blue Cross of Utah Blue Shield player of the game. And he deserves it.
Yeah, he's had a good game. Craig, we just might mention quickly that if fans want to see this game again, it'll be on Channel 11 Monday night at 9 o'clock.
This game's had a little bit of everything. Texas turning the ball over tonight 8 times. And they really helped lay the groundwork for BYU's victory.
They've got 1:10. They've got to score twice.
Touchdown.
There's one of them.
Darren Norris, the 5'9", 195-pound junior, rumbles in from 3 yards out. And it's 22-16 with 1:06 to play. Don't go anywhere.
And you think they'll try an onside kick?
Let's see, how much money have you got on you? Yeah, I think so.
1:06. If BYU can cover the football, they can probably run out the time. Well, they could run out the time because there's just 1 timeout left for Texas.
Clement's in to make the point after. And the kick is good. So the BYU Cougars leading 22-17, but an onside kick is to come. Darren Norris tonight, Jake, big night, 8 carries, 85 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Well, the Cougars will put in what they call their good hands unit right now to watch for this probable onside kick.
Little simple handoff right behind the center, and Norris twists and turns his way in for 6. Understand that the reason that Kelly is in the games, Shannon Kelly, is that Stafford hurt his jaw. And the doctors are a little concerned and we're wanting to just keep him out of the game. He's taking a couple of hard hits tonight, no wonder.
Kelly hasn't hurt them at all. with his play. He just driven the team downfield with the hurry-up offense and got him into the end zone.
Now remember, on an onside kick, it has to go 10 yards. If I remember my my onside kick rule.
Got to go 10 yards. And once it goes 10 yards, anybody who covers it, it's a free football.
So Clements will kick it at his own 35, and the Cougars are going to send 9 players up to try to cover up this football. You got Thor Salanoa on the line.
Got Regan Hansen and Green and Macbeth.
Hobbs, your 2 tight ends, Macbeth and also Hanley.
And Johnson, I believe, yeah. Dwayne Johnson.
Jay, this is something, too, they do practice.
Well, BYU won a Holiday Bowl with an onside kick, a key play against Southern Methodist.
Clements with a big chore here, and now Texas stacking up. Near sideline, a little squiver goes, and it's picked off easily at the 42-yard line.
Travis Macbeth grabbed it.
And the tight end, Travis Macbeth, he's a junior out of, I like this, Carefree, Arizona.
Well, BYU's got the football, 1:06 to protect a lead of 5 points.
The scoring drive just took 1:06, covered 59 yards, 6 plays, and a 3-yard run by Darren Norris. That's interesting. Yeah, on that kick, on the onside kick, they made Clements move the ball right on that 35-yard line. He wanted to play it back a little bit. So Jensen will put a knee on the ground, lose a yard, but the clock will tick.
And a flag is thrown. He just backed up and waited and let some time run off before he dropped down. See what the penalty is. Called a personal foul on BYU.
So the penalty will push BYU back into their own territory.
58 seconds to go now. Texas just might get this football one more time. They've got a timeout left, too.
22-17, you have to put a touchdown on the board. A field goal won't do you much good. Second down and 25, the ball back on the 37. Jensen will drop to a knee. And the clock ticks away with 52 seconds to play. And remember, Texas has 1 remaining timeout.
So a little cat and mouse game right now as both teams kind of play with the clock. The Cougars will let 25 seconds run off the clock before they try and run the play. And Texas, if they can make them punt it, probably do their darndest to block the punt. Down to 30 seconds on the clock.
They'll have about 17 seconds to work with. And Texas waiting to call timeout, or will they? They will, with 11 seconds to play.
The clock's still going.
The clock continues. Now they call timeout. With 2-1.
Still going. Maybe they didn't have a timeout left. The scoreboard said they did. But the clock just kept going. I guess they couldn't stop it, Frank.
Well, the crowd wanted it. You could hear them, the frustration, and sure enough.
Well, they were probably reading what we were. The scoreboard said 1 timeout left.
But the official said, nope, you don't. So BYU, as Lavelle Edwards and Dave McWilliams meet to talk about this football game, it's a big road win for BYU. And they win the football game, the final 22-17.
Perfecting Beethoven, mastering Mozart, making Copland note perfect, getting ready for a new season of the Utah Symphony. Subscribe now and choose from 19, 12, or 7 performance packages and choose from the best seats in the house. But choose soon. Performances begin September the 11th. The Utah Symphony, performing live the greatest hits in history.
To everyone in American business who understands that success isn't a destination, it's a journey, we present telecommunications to help along the way. U.S. West. Nobody knows the trails better.
When you need brakes, you need Mr. Brake. At Mr. Brake, your vehicle will be serviced by mechanics who specialize in brake repair. And because we use premium quality parts, you know your brakes will be safe and reliable. Now we stand behind our work by offering free replacement of Mr. Brake's disc or drum linings if they ever wear out for as long as you own the car. It's unbeatable. For safety's sake, see the experts at Mr. Brake, serving you for over 20 years with 6 locations in Salt Lake and Ogden.
Many times people buy a new car and say, how did I ever let myself get talked into that? We have people drive from all over the state to do business with us because at Canyon, that doesn't happen.
Canyon Chrysler Plymouth. We guarantee it.
Lee Iacocca says if you want to know who builds them best, see who backs them best. We stand behind that philosophy. How your dealer takes care of you after the purchase really determines if you made a good buy.
Canyon Chrysler Plymouth. We guarantee it.
And welcome back to Austin, Texas, Memorial Stadium. The crowd beginning to kind of just slowly walk out of here tonight. 65,000 came in hoping that the Texas Longhorns, Jay, could win their home opener. But the BYU Cougars rose up and knocked off Texas tonight. They looked pretty good doing it.
They did. They looked good. There are a lot of good things that happened to BYU tonight. I think Jensen played well at quarterback. They got some running from their running backs. The defense was superb. They forced a lot of the turnovers. Turnovers a big thing in the ball game, but BYU made some of those turnovers happen.
You talk about Bob Jensen. I tell you, just since last week, I think he's taken a giant step in maturity. And Bobby, you're with us down on the field. Congratulations, a nice effort tonight by you. Got to ask you, did the heat and humidity worry you at the beginning of this ball game? Did it wear you down at all?
It didn't have any effect on as far as my condition, but sometimes I had a hard time throwing the ball because the ball was slipping out of my hand a lot, and that was one factor. But other than that, I think it was really no problem.
Bob, did this club lose confidence after last week? I know the press here in Texas kind of wrote both these teams as saying, hey, it doesn't look like these guys are going to do much this season. But after last week's game against Pitt, you guys did not let down, or at least you didn't.
Yeah, it's this is a big win for us. Come down to Texas, we'll take it. It was a nail biter, and we definitely got to get better. But I think we are, and we made a step from last week, and we're going to get better. And I think we're going to be a great football team this year.
Bob, I certainly was impressed with the play of your offensive line today. They had a chance to practice this week together. They did a good job protecting you. Did you feel that yourself?
The offensive line was great. They rebounded. Did a fantastic job today. I had a lot of time. Sometimes I could eat my lunch back there, and I felt great about the way the big guys performed up front. And now, we dropped a few balls, and we can get a lot better. We're going to sharpen up, and I got to give Texas credit. They were a good football team, but we won tonight.
Bobby, one final question. What's this do really for you confidence-wise in the team? 3 tough road games. A lot of people were scared about playing Texas, then going to TCU, then on to Albuquerque to play New Mexico. This is a big confidence boost to get going on the road with 3 tough games.
This is a big win. To come out of here with a win and the momentum carrying us into next week, I think this is a tremendous help to us.
All right, Bobby, take a shower. Congratulations. Nice contest, and we'll see you next week down at TCU.
Thanks.
All right, Bob Jensen, good ball game tonight. We'll be back with a final thought from Austin, Texas. The Cougars win it tonight. Don't go away.
A problem with banking someplace else is you have to do it their way, their terms, their time. Not at America First Credit Union. Because if you're a member, you walk in America First, not as a customer. You walk in as an owner. You feel our flexibility. With our many financial services, America First conforms to our members, not the other way around. So make a smart move. Join America First. Try our services. Feel our flexibility.
When you think formal, think R.C. Willey. When you think French, think R.C. Willey. When you think country, think R.C. Willey. When you think leather, think R.C. Willey. When you entertain, think R.C. Willey. When you want to be entertained, think R.C. Willey. When you think value, think R.C. Willey. And if you think it's expensive, think again. R.C. Willey in Syracuse, Murray, and Kearns West Valley.
Hi. I just moved in next door. Could I borrow a Diet Pepsi?
Sure.
Yes.
Be right with you. When you go all out for taste, the taste to go out for is Diet Pepsi.
You okay in there?
Here's your Diet Pepsi.
Thanks. I hope it wasn't too much trouble.
No trouble at all. Diet Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The first Olympic Games were a single 200-yard race held near Olympia, Greece. In 1896, 9 nations sent young athletes back to Greece for the first modern Olympiad. Now the Olympics have come of age. October this year, athletes 55 and older will compete in the first annual World Senior Olympics to foster world peace, friendship, and health in the heart of America's great Southwest. To participate, contact any First Security Bank office or the St. George Hilton Inn, World Senior Olympics headquarters.
And Craig Bolerjack, Jay Mawson, and Charlene Wells Hawks back in Austin, Texas. The Cougars came into this game tonight underdogs. They leave victorious 22-17. Jay, it's got to be a good game to build on.
It certainly does. The team's got to get a lot of confidence out of this. You know, it's interesting. There are a number of former BYU players who came to this game and fans and said, you got to win this ball game or else we can't go back to work on Monday living down here in Texas. I think that it's a boost for them. It's a boost for the BYU program, and we got to hand it to the defense tonight. They turned things around, helped the offense get the ball back, and played very well.
And Texas hurt themselves with the 8 turnovers.
It certainly did. You just can't win with that number of turnovers, and they were key turnovers, too. Times when they could have gotten back into the football game.
Well, next week we'll have another busy Saturday at 12 noon on the Video West Network. We will have San Diego State at Air Force, and then at 6:30 we will have BYU at TCU. Jay Monson and I will be there to call that game, so make sure you mark it down on your calendars. The Cougars, again, victorious tonight, the final 22-17. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good night from Austin. We'll see you next week.
You have been watching College Football 1987. Brought to you by Toyota, by the Dairy Farmers of Utah, by Industrial Supply, and by the Utah Beef Council. This has been a Video West Network Sports presentation.
Smiles and the laughter, all the love that they bring. When they come into your life, it can change everything. One smile says it all.
There's someone nearby who understands life insurance and all the ways your needs can change. Your good neighbor State Farm agent.
For sensible, affordable life insurance protection, check with a participating Utah State Farm agent.
In the land of Dairy Queen.
What's new at Dairy Queen? Our home-style double burger sale. For only $1.39, you can get a double burger that looks, cooks, and tastes like homemade. Thick, juicy, and tender. Our home-style double burger with golden cheese, crisp lettuce, and ripe tomato. The best burger this side of home. Now only $1.39 at Dairy Queen.
The first Olympic Games were a single 200-yard race held near Olympia, Greece. In 1896, 9 nations sent young athletes back to Greece for the first modern Olympiad. Now the Olympics have come of age. October this year, athletes 55 and older will compete in the first annual World Senior Olympics to foster world peace, friendship, and health in the heart of America's great Southwest. To participate, contact any First Security Bank office or the St. George Hilton Inn, World Senior Olympics headquarters.
This is the sale I have waited for. Ogden's Carpet free labor sale.
Now's the time to get free labor on the carpet or vinyl you want.
Flushes,
sculptures, and thousands of remnants. Get free labor on Stainmaster Carpet, the new revolutionary breakthrough from DuPont, with stain resistance never before available.
Come in now, because the more you buy, the more Stevens got to work for nothing.
For carpets in Utah, Steve Ogden's covers the state.
Next week, see the world from your child's point of view.
The following program is a sneak preview of a new TV show that starts right here on this channel.
Captain Hook.
The girl, it's a tooth. It's Juan Valdez. Right,
Welcome to the quick draw game that everyone can play. Come on in and join the star of NBC's new series, Easy Street, Lonnie Anderson. The Emmy Award-winning Golden Girl, Betty White. You remember him from the hit series Taxi. Now he has another one from Who's the Boss, Tony Danza. And ladies and gentlemen, Burt Reynolds. All here to play Win, Lose, or Draw. And here's our host, Burt Convey.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. I thank you very, very much, and welcome to Win, Lose, or Draw. This is really a game that a lot of us have been playing for years. In fact, this is the room we've been playing it in, because, you see, our set is modeled after Bert's living room. Right, Bert?
Yes.
Yes.
It looks just like this, except I had more people.
Yeah, you usually have a bigger crowd, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, if these walls could talk, huh?
This couch could talk.
Yeah, better yet. As you can see, we have two teams, the men against the women. In fact, we always play it that. We always play men against the women. It seems to bring something to the game. I guess you'd call it hostility would be a good word, wouldn't you say, Betty?
I've always played against the men.
Yeah, it's better if you do that. All right, now you've met our four celebrities. It's time to meet our contestants. First of all, joining Lonnie and Betty is a former bicycle taxi driver and a singing waitress. Would you please welcome Z. Tobin? Z, come on. Z, always a pleasure. Say hello to Betty White. Lonnie Anderson. Joining Bert and Tony is a bank teller at an amusement park. He also happens to be the U.S. Attorney General's nephew. Would you welcome, please, Jerry Meese? How about that? To play hail to the chief, huh, Jerry? Okay. Welcome to you both. What's the Attorney General like?
Not at all like as being played up in the press. He's really a nice guy.
Well, none of us are.
Okay, now, as you know, the object of our game is to convey names and places and individual words to your teammates. But there's only one catch. You can only do that by drawing, okay? The team with the most money at the end wins, of course, and then we add a bonus of $1,000, which makes it nice. I think the ladies should go first, don't you guys?
Yeah, please.
Let's do that. How about Betty White to lead things off? What do you say? Come on, Betty. Come, my dear. You've got a nice... Choose your weapon.
That one, okay.
No, that one's fine.
Okay. All right, man. Now, you know why we brought you here this morning? No, that's not.
You going to your coach?
Yeah.
This is a lovely sweater, really.
Thank
It's
you.
very, very nice.
Thank
You dress very well.
That's nice, too. I love it.
Well, thank you very much. Your hair looks very, very special.
So do yours.
Come on? Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
You dropped your...
Oh, I dropped my... I'm sorry about that. Okay, now, Betty, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a minute. In that minute, you must convey a famous name to your teammates, okay? If you do that, you'll win $250 for your team. But at the 30-second mark, you're going to hear a sound effect. And this is it.
I'll get it.
Oh, I told you.
No. It does seem like your house, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And when you hear that, if you're stuck up here and you really want to get rid of this marker, you can pass it off to one of your teammates, okay? But if you do that, the price goes down from $250 to $100, okay? That's the penalty, okay? Mark down from, as a matter of fact. Now, guys, if they don't get it in that minute, you get a chance, one shot to steal the money, okay? So be ready. You have to pay attention. Are you all set?
Sure.
What do you need?
Oh, honey, do you have a few minutes?
Oh, no. You need a famous name.
That's what I need.
That's what you need. You need a name here. Okay, show everybody at home what it is, and everybody in the studio audience as well, if you will, please. And I'll even show it to you, okay? You all set?
I see.
All right, there it is. You have 1 minute. Set the clock. Here we go. Ready, and go.
Oh, it's
An ice cream
cone.
Champagne.
Who drinks champagne?
Martini.
Let's see.
Olive.
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 Okay, olive oil.
Olive oil. I think that was an accident. I think that was an accident. The ladies have $250. Nicely done. And now I think, Bert, it's only fair that you get up and try to answer that. Bert Reynolds.
Let's go, Bert. All right, Bert.
Here we go, sir. Come on. All right. Want to see what you got here? You know, you got a minute. At 30 seconds, you can hand off if you want to. But the price goes down, $250. Show everybody at home what it is and the people in the audience as well. There it is. Okay.
Now think, fellas.
Famous
Think.
person.
Okay.
Famous person. Ready, and go.
It's somebody with a nose. It's Pinocchio. It's
Joan Rivers. Dolly Parton.
What's the name of the dog? Oh, okay, it's not a dog now. It's
Ruth Westheimer.
It's Dr. Ruth. It's
Susan.
45 seconds.
Mary Washington. What's the name? What's the name? The flag.
The flag.
Okay.
Susan Anthony.
The flag.
Susan B.
Think of the flag. Okay.
Stars and Stripes.
You want to hand off?
Old Glory.
He's giving it to you, Jerry. Get up here. There it is. That's who it is.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I can't think of a name.
20 seconds.
Susan, what's her name? I can't think of her name.
Dancing doesn't do it. You've got to draw.
She's Joe.
Hurry up. He's got an idea.
He's got an idea. Wait a minute. He's got an idea.
2, 1.
He's got an idea.
It's over. Don't say anything. No, don't say anything. Because they have to guess it. Okay, don't say a word. Now he knows. Okay.
This is going to be a long night. I can tell.
No, this was terrific. Actually, this was great. Girls, you
Can
get...
we say it together?
Absolutely. Who is it?
Betsy
That's right. You get the $250. No, you get $100 because it went down. They handed off. So the ladies have $350. The men will score. Don't you worry about it. They'll be back, and we'll be back, too, with more win, lose, or draw in just a moment.
I'm a sales representative. I never envisioned myself owning a Cellular One car phone, but now I don't know what I ever did without it. With Cellular One, the time I spend in my car is now productive. I'm in touch with more people, my customers are more satisfied, and I don't have to hunt for a phone booth. Cellular One is one investment that is actually paying for itself.
Seeing is believing. Try Cellular One today on us. Call for a free trial today.
They're coming to the BYU Marriott Center for the first time ever. It's the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics in thrilling preseason competition Friday, October 30th. See Danny Ainge, Craig Kite, and Fred Roberts return to the Marriott Center with the Celtics to tackle the Jazz. Tickets go on sale Monday, September 14th at 9 a.m. at the Marriott Center, the Salt Palace, and all Smith Tix locations. It's sure to be a sellout, so get your tickets early. That's the Jazz and the Celtics in the Marriott Center. Tickets on sale beginning Monday.
Perfecting Beethoven, mastering Mozart, making Copeland note perfect, getting ready for a new season of the Utah Symphony. Subscribe now and choose from 19, 12, or 7 performance packages and choose from the best seats in the house. But choose soon. Performances begin September the 11th. The Utah Symphony, performing live the greatest hits in history.
If you're like me, when you're trying out a new recipe, you don't fool around with it, except when it says margarine. I use butter-flavored Crisco for more buttery taste. See, flavors can fade when you bake with margarine, but butter-flavored Crisco is made just for cooking. So you get a rich, buttery taste no margarine can match. Like my new recipe, Sissy?
Heavenly, Mama.
Butter-flavored Crisco for buttery taste no margarine can match.
Thank you. Okay. At this point, we are back. The ladies have $350. The fellas have a bagel on the board so far, but don't worry, they're going to be fine. Now, these words were sent in by players across the country, and I must warn you, this is a big warning. It could be anything. No more famous thing. It could be absolutely anything at all. Now, I think it's only fitting at this point we should start with Lonnie Anderson. Lonnie Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rid of Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross.
Yes.
Betsy Ross, too. Betsy Ross,
Do you have any
Betsy Ross, too.
questions? Everything is okay?
No, this is anything at all.
You're all together, right? What a stupid question. You're all together, I say to this woman. Okay, you have 1 minute worth $250 unless you hand it off, you know that. Let's show everybody at home and in the studio audience what this is. They're getting it now. Anything, could be anything.
Okay.
Set the clock. If you're ready, Lonnie, let's go. And go.
Eggman.
It's a man. It's a lady. It's
Burger King.
what
is that?
It's whispering. It's a whispering in the ear.
It's a duck biting the ear.
A love whispering sweet nothings.
Nibbling on my ear. Sure.
It's a
sunshine on my shoulder. Sunshine.
It's a spider.
Oh, it's a spider.
It's a spider. Little Miss Muffet.
Spider.
30 seconds. You want to hand off?
Spider girl.
Okay, no.
Spider-Man.
Spider. Charlotte Webb. No.
Spider dress. Spider.
20 seconds.
Arm.
Spider girl. Spider maid.
Spider.
15 seconds.
Lip, mouth.
The men spell victory. 10 seconds.
Yes, they do.
Spider.
Teeth.
Lips. There's a
Spider kissing. Good.
4, 3, 2, 1. She got it. She got it. She got it. She said it. She said it on 2 seconds. She said it. I saw it coming in your brain. I saw it coming. She said it.
The first Olympic Games were a single 200-yard race held near Olympia, Greece. In 1896, 9 nations sent young athletes back to Greece for the first modern Olympiad. Now the Olympics have come of age. October this year, athletes 55 and older will compete in the first annual World Senior Olympics to foster world peace, friendship, and health in the heart of America's great Southwest. To participate, contact any First Security Bank office or the St. George Hilton Inn, World Senior Olympics headquarters.
CDS Computer Center has a computer smart tip for you. If you could have a high-performance vehicle for about the same price as a basic economy model, which would you choose? Of course, you'd pick an NEC PowerMate, an AT-class computer with the power to take you to the limits, yet comparably priced to a typical PC now at CDS Computer Center. Come in and see the advantages of the NEC for yourself today. Count on CDS Computer Center for great prices on great products and computer smart ideas to keep you in the lead. CDS Computer Center, 5316 South State.
No one knows I just got dentures, and I don't want anything to blow it.
Fix-it and forget it.
Dentalware is candied everything, but with Fix-it, I can get a taste of the local flavor.
Fix-it and forget it. Fix-it helps fix loose spots for a strong hold that lasts longer than any leading cream.
I just got dentures, but it hasn't slowed me down.
Start to be the 45. Want to hear 45? 45 here's...
Use Fix-it and forget it.
There's no sign of life, it's just a positive charm. I'm lying in the rain, but I try. Whoa! Never gonna go for my love. What's the sign say my love? Now I know the choice is mine. My love, my love, my love.
Said it. I'm here. You smelled victory. You knew you had it, right? Okay. The kiss of the Spider Women it was. Right at the last. You had 2 seconds left, I think. Okay. Yes, me too. I'm exhausted. Okay, that was sent in by Catherine Walsh of Hicksville, New York.
Thanks.
And for playing our game, we're going to send her an autograph. Everybody's going to autograph this picture for her. Okay, now, Tony Danza, your turn. Come on up here. Now, you know how we play this game, no problem, right? Yeah. You got a minute? If 30 seconds...
I'm going to look like a jumpy real soon.
No, you're not.
Come on, Bert.
After 30 seconds, you can give it away.
I never could play this game, and you know it.
You can play
That's why you invited me.
Wait a minute. You forget.
I'm no fool, but I know that.
Who's the boss? Come on, let's talk about it. Everybody look at what the word is or what it is. It could be a word, it could be anything,
Look at it, Tony. I know what it is. I'm trying to think here, Bert.
He saw it. He's stalling for time here. You know what? You got it? You got an idea what you're going to do here?
No, wait, Bert, let's talk.
Okay. Okay.
No, but okay.
Okay, set the clock. Here you go. You got 1 minute worth $250 and go.
Go. It's a clown. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. It's a camel. A camel.
A zebra.
Camel. An animal. It's an animal. Okay,
No more apologies from you. Oh, come on. Wait a minute. He gets up and says he can't do it. I have no chance, and gets it in about 4 seconds.
Wait a minute. Kissing a spider woman, you have the nerve.
I don't know how to play poker. I only have 2 pins.
Yeah. Remember that?
That
Little
one goes
Joe.
to Tom Manning in Fort Lauderdale. Thank you for that, Tom. Okay, now it's time for our contestants to step up here. Z, are you ready to go? Let's go. Okay. Oh, you're left-handed. Okay. Since the other word, you have 1 minute. I don't want anybody to see it. Put it on the clock, and if you're ready to go.
Yeah. Good.
You got it? Okay, here we go. Ready, and go.
It's a man, it's a lady, it's a woman, it's a woman.
A ballerina. What? A baby.
Baby. Oh, the shorts? They're shorts.
Oh, shorts.
Bermuda shorts, shorts diapers, bikini.
Jockey shorts.
Jockey
45.
shorts.
45 seconds.
Boxer shorts. Shorts. Bermuda shorts. Big shorts. Underwear.
Yes, that's it.
Well, I'm older than you are.
Very nice. Give me that. Sit down there and be ashamed of yourself. I thought we were going to break new ground there for a moment, didn't you? That one goes to Nora Burke in San Francisco. Thank you, Nora, for sending that in from San Francisco. Okay. Next one. The guys have $250. The ladies have $850 already?
Come on, Jerry.
Well, you guys got to play catch up. Jerry, come on.
Get up there.
You got this.
Okay. Okay. You ready? Okay.
All right, this is a good one for you.
Okay.
You all set, Jerry?
I'm all set, I'm
Let's
ready.
show everybody in our audience and at home what this is. If you're all set, 1 minute, $250.
We got it.
You got an idea? All right.
Okay.
Set that clock.
Cheer up, Jerry.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You sure?
I'm ready.
Don't peek too soon.
Okay.
Ready, and go.
Okay.
A square.
Forget that.
Forget that one. That's no good.
Square.
It's a plus. Okay.
Minus. Oh. Forget that.
You want more paper?
No.
Oh. What the hell
What
is
in
that?
the world?
Gumby.
Is that an elephant?
Camel.
Saddle.
Saddle?
Saddle saw.
Saddle. Hey. Saddle.
Saddle.
Saddle
Okay.
paper.
30
Saddle
seconds.
paper.
You want to hand off?
Saddle.
Don't pound. Draw, Jerry.
Okay,
Just draw.
okay. Saddle.
Hurry, Jerry. Hurry.
Saw.
You got 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Burn. Fire. Flame. Lighter.
10 seconds.
Lighter saddle. It's a lighter
English.
English saddle.
English saddle.
5.
Lighter saddle. Light.
5, 4,
Saddle up.
2. You're going to kill yourself. Don't say anything. You're going to hate yourself. Ladies,
Why don't you say it all together?
Partner.
What is it?
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles, that's right. You did very well.
You should have got it.
You had every kind of saddle known to man. There's no question about it. That one goes to Bruce Kemp in Fort Lauderdale. No, in St. Paul, Minnesota. Thank you, Bruce. Didn't mean to give it the wrong. Now, the ladies have, well, let's talk to the men first. The men have $250. The ladies have $1,100. We'll be back in a moment with our speed round. Don't go away.
We're building to a rousing finish. Don't go away.
Good evening, I'm Carol Makita. Here are some of the stories we're working on tonight. Thick black smoke poured into the air over Utah County today, but residents didn't call the fire department. They knew what it was. We'll tell you at 10. This man isn't worried about what the state wants to do to him. He says, go ahead. More of our exclusive interview. He's man's best friend, but what happens when you have to give him up, even for a good cause? And why is this man standing in the street waving a baton? Hopefully, we'll have the answer at 10, and much more. Join us then.
house in your first day, but you'll wake up your favorite way. 'Cause with Folgers to prove, the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Nothing brightens your morning like mountain-grown Folgers. Mountain-grown coffee beans have more enticing aroma and richer flavor than any other kind.
That rich aromatic blend is your best morning friend.
Start you out feeling good, the day goes like it should. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Zestfully clean.
Fully clean.
Soap leaves a sticky film on you that won't rinse away, but Zest rinses you fully clean.
You're not fully clean unless you're Zestfully clean.
Hi. I just moved in next door. Could I borrow a Diet Pepsi?
Sure. Yes.
Be right with you.
When you go all out for taste, the taste to go out for is Diet Pepsi.
You okay in there?
Here's your Diet Pepsi.
Thanks. I hope it wasn't too much trouble.
No trouble at all. Diet Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The first Olympic Games were a single 200-yard race held near Olympia, Greece. In 1896, 9 nations sent young athletes back to Greece for the first modern Olympiad. Now the Olympics have come of age. October this year, athletes 55 and older will compete in the first annual World Senior Olympics to foster world peace, friendship, and health in the heart of America's great Southwest. To participate, contact any First Security Bank office or the St. George Hilton Inn, World Senior Olympics headquarters.
You crack me up when you give me that crazy look. 'Cause when it comes to making me laugh, you wrote the book. You're the single most funniest person I've ever known. Oh, you tickle my funny bone. All I have to do is take one look at you and I'm smiling.
I'm chuckling.
I'm laughing.
I'm roaring.
You're the single most funniest. You're the best. CBS Spirit, oh yes.
Okay. Thank you. We are back. We are definitely back. We are back. The ladies have $1,100. The men have $950. And so it's a very close game, as you can see, which means What? What's the matter?
They carry the two. I don't think so.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
I don't think the men have $950.
Well, let's just get on with the game.
yeah, let's get on with it.
Let's come on.
No,
play here.
come on. Hey, you know, it's our show. If we say they got $950,
Play this honestly.
they got $950, you know?
I said we got 900 and we got 900.
He owns the show. I'll be honest, for the first time. The men have $250. The ladies have $1,100.
This is humiliating.
But now, wait a minute. The good part is that no matter what happens from here on, Jerry, you go home with $250, and Z, you go home with $1,150, and Bert, you go home with Lonnie. So what could be bad, okay? This is the speed round, so-called because it's speedy, I guess. Each word is worth $100, and you have 2 minutes to get as many words as you can, okay? Now, Z, who's going to play for your side?
We decided to go with Betty.
Betty, of course. Come on, Betty. All right, now, you know you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get as many words as you can. You guys have a comfortable lead, but don't get overconfident. Yes. If you're ready to go, we'll put 2 minutes on the clock, right, gang? All right, and go.
How can I go if I don't see the word?
Oh, now you want an advantage, yeah.
Oh, yes, it's a circle. It's a
person? A person?
It's a
person?
It's a holy circle with a nose. What? It's
Sure,
like a bowling ball.
It's a man in the moon. It's
a man in the moon. It's a funny man. It's a very funny man.
It's a cyclops.
That's what it is. Move along now. You have 1:30 left.
This is a kettle. It's a kiln. It's
a bowl.
It's a bowl of chopped liver.
A bowl of
vegetable soup. Noodles, spaghetti,
things.
anchovies,
Matzo ball.
meatballs.
Meatballs. Yeah.
That's right. Nice going. Another $100. One more paper?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. More paper.
Another tree.
There you go.
1 minute left, Betty.
Oh! It's a
number one.
It's a house. It's a church. It's a wall. It's an outhouse.
It's an outhouse. You're right, for $100. 45 seconds. You can pass if you want to, you know. You don't have to do this work. You can pass.
I don't have to do this for a living either. I've got a
It's a mouse.
That's true.
It's a volcano.
30 seconds.
It's a volcano. It's a bowling.
It's a bride.
Yes.
A bride and groom.
And a top hat. It's a magician with a bride.
It's a wedding party.
10 seconds, Betty.
It's a
10
stand
seconds.
party. Sure. It's it's a naked bride and groom. What is it? It's
5, 4. You sure you want to pass?
It's a divorce bride.
1. Oh, too bad. Too bad.
I'm engaged. A broken engagement.
This is tough. This is very tough. I'm surprised you didn't pass. Explain what this is, Betty.
This is the bride, and this is the groom, and this is the mother-in-law.
It's a mother-in-law. A little tough. A little tough. How did you do? You added 3 words is all you got.
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. 3 words is good.
Sorry.
The ladies have $1,400, a pretty good lead. However, not an insurmountable lead because the men are now going to take over. By the way, whoever wins gets the most money today. We add a $1,000 bonus. Don't forget that. A lot of dough. If you're all set, gentlemen, who's going to play for you, Jerry?
Bert.
Bert, come on.
Bert, go get him, baby.
Just need 12. Okay. 12 is
Mother-in-law.
All right, Bert, you got 2 minutes. Set the clock to 2 minutes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You need 12 to win. Ready? And go.
Okay. Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd with, Bugs Bunny. A ballerina. Crabs, seashells, Adam. What are they called?
A fig leaf.
Fig leaf. Okay. Cheese.
Swiss cheese.
Yes, come on.
Okay, that's going to 30, minute 30.
Oh, my gosh.
Baseball.
Sport? Is it a sport?
Throw the ball. Kick the ball.
Chinese checkers.
Football. Soccer. It's so obvious you're wrong.
Polo.
You want to pass, Bert?
A foot, a toe.
Want to pass? Okay, with stick balls. Stick balls is what that was.
It's obvious.
It's Frosty the Snowman. An angel. A Christmas caroler. Candle.
Noel.
Angel.
Angel.
Clerk.
It's a pipe.
Church. Boat. A boat. A boat. Is it a boat?
That's perfect.
A man in a boat. Jesus.
Paul Revere.
A boat. I don't know. New York.
New York, Statue of Liberty. It's a bad balloon sculpture.
Balloon.
It's a leg.
Leg.
It's a dog.
That's right. Okay. You got it right.
Okay.
You don't want that one. Okay.
Come on.
You want that one?
No. Okay.
No, you want
Whale,
which one?
triangle, car, duck, bed, not a bed. Bed
one are you
frame.
doing?
There's
Bed,
mattress.
mattress.
All right.
Okay.
You got $750.
Oh, no.
No.
A banana.
Leaf.
What is it?
A banana.
Banana. You got it. We'll give that to you. The guys end up with $850. The ladies end up with $1,400. We have $1,000. And that means Z walks away with $2,400. Nice score. Congratulations. We'll come back after this commercial break. Don't go away.
Question. In the western United States, there is a quality 4-year college whose theater arts department developed one of the nation's top Shakespearean festivals. One of its students is a leader in the Screen Actors Guild in the western United States, while another leads the nation's foremost program for directors. Is this 4-year college the University of Arizona, Colorado State University, or is it Southern Utah State College? The answer? Southern Utah State College. 4 years of quality in Cedar City.
It's new, the fluffiest softness.
Come on in, it's fluffy soft. Fluffy. Soft, softest feeling only Deli
New Downy rinses in the most softness of any fabric softener. Feel the difference. See the difference. Downy softens best.
Come on in, it's April fresh. Downy feeling, fluffy feeling.
New Downy, the fullest, thickest, fluffiest softness ever.
Come on in.
I know it's kind of early for this type of thing. I just wanted to be the first to tell folks in this area about the newest, biggest, boldest taste yet from Doritos. New Saucerio flavor. Imagine all those Rio Grande fixins plus big chunky salsa taste, and it's all on one little chip. The age we live in. Forgot about that crunch pistol.
New Salsario flavored Doritos brand tortilla chips. One heck of a taste, one heck of a crunch.
We all know television can fool you. See what I mean? That's why it's so important for you to come in to Wallpaper Warehouse. Oh, we can tell you how easy wall covering is, and we can magically change your room from drab to beautiful. But the only way you're really going to understand how new and different wall covering is today is to visit Wallpaper Warehouse. Maybe I'll pop in while you're here. Right now, you can buy one roll and get the second roll free on all in-stock wall covering. It's so easy with Wallpaper Warehouse.
We're back. We are definitely back. Thank you. Very good. Very good playing. We want to thank our contestants for being with us today. And, of course, we want to thank Lonnie and Betty and Tony and Bert, of course. And also all of you for watching us. We hope we'll see you again right here on Win, Lose, or Draw. Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you. Now, we have some very special guests that we would like you to meet. So come on down, gang. Won't you? I think you'll get a kick out of this. Come on down. Win, lose, or draw. Yes, you do.
Is a Bert and Bert production.
Never forget your turn up there. Never forget.
In association with Klein and Fred.
There's a sure sign that Geneva Steel is back in business while police develop a theory in a mysterious Emigration Canyon murder.
Pope John Paul tackles some controversial issues down south, and thousands of feet run to a classical beat.
Good evening, I'm Carol Makita.
And I'm Don Olson. Eyewitness News is just ahead.
You want to get a Pepsi?
Sounds good.
Wheat thins, something like a crackle, but more like a snack. Just for you snackers, crunchy delight. Kinda like a crackle, but with more snack bite. Oh, they're thin and square, and they're light as air, and they're honest to goodness lip smackers. Just for you snackers, something like a crackle, but more like a snack.
Try our low soft, nutty, and cheese flavors, too.
Nabisco.
Thank you. Remember, kids are going back to school now, so drive safely.
You're watching Channel 5, Salt Lake City, Utah. The #1 Eyewitness News is next.
It's a sight Utah County hasn't seen for 13 months. Thick black smoke poured into the air this morning as workers at Geneva Steel fired up the plant. The smoke means more than 1,000 idle steel workers will soon be back to work. Some residents say they'll just have to get used to the smoke again.
Well, I'm glad to see the steelmen back to work, but I don't appreciate the pollution as much as seeing them back to work, I guess.
I like to see the workers back to work. I'm not really fond of the smoke, but I know a lot of people who are glad to get back to work.
Officials with Basic Manufacturing and Technology, the plant's new owner, say the smoke will be especially bad for the first 2 weeks and then subside. They say it's necessary if Geneva is to begin making steel this Saturday, September 12th.
Live from Salt Lake City, you're watching the News Specialists. Don Olson, Carol Makita, Kent Norton with weather, and Steve Cyphers with sports.
Salt Lake County Sheriff's investigators have new information tonight about the murder of a California man, but Immigration Canyon residents are not resting any easier. The owner of this Canyon home found 50-year-old William Heiniger shot to death there yesterday afternoon. Someone shot him at close range with a small caliber weapon. Heiniger was staying with his friend while looking for a home. Detectives believe Heiniger surprised a burglar. The owner reported several items missing. Another home in the neighborhood also was ransacked. They have no suspects yet. Pierre Dale Selby spent 13 years on death row appealing his death sentence. Now, convicted murderer James Holland says he has the right not to appeal a death sentence, and he wants the state to execute him as soon as the courts will allow it. Last night, we told you about the murders Holland committed. Today, in an exclusive interview, Holland tells crime specialist Tom Walsh that he'll turn down any attempts to keep him alive.
James Holland says he's tired of killing and tired of living.
Why go on living? We're all going to go sometime, sooner or later, and it's sentence me to death, just get me out of my misery, really.
He's killed 3 men. One of them was 72-year-old Sam Pat, who tried to kick Holland out of his car in Summit County 2 years ago.
And when he reached the pistol, I fired, but he evidently had hit the pistol and blowed the window out. And I fired about 5 times before I finally hit him.
Holland pled guilty to capital homicide and could get the death penalty. Pierre Dale Selby spent 13 years on death row appealing his sentence. Holland prefers swift justice.
So if you get the death penalty, you want to die as quickly as possible?
Sure, I think if, because they talk about cruel and unusual punishment, like with Selby, 13 years on death row, then kill him. That's not right. If they're going to kill someone, they should kill them.
This hardened criminal says a judge started his life of crime by putting him in a reform school after his mother died at the age of 9. Holland says a judge should now put him to death.
The system made me what I am, so let them destroy me if they want me destroyed.
Holland's defense attorney will not mount an insanity defense or ask for an appeal. The ACLU appealed Gary Gilmore's sentence against his wishes. Elliot Levine hopes that doesn't happen with Holland.
Respect him for his opinion, and I believe that he's thought about this sincerely for a long time, and he knows what he wants, and I would hope that nobody would take that man's right away to make his own decision as to his own fate and his own life.
Holland says he knew one day he would be executed. He used to dream about the electric chair in reform school.
I used to dream of being electrocuted, and I wake up in the middle of the night, after dreaming, I get right up to the point where I was actually strapped into the chair, and the juice hit you.
If an automatic appeal to the state Supreme Court is turned down, Holland's dream of execution could come true within 6 months. Tom Walsh, Eyewitness News, Summit County.
Orem police are looking for the driver of a pickup truck that struck and killed a 5-year-old child around 7 o'clock last night. The driver stopped just briefly, but it was apparently long enough for a witness to get a good description and a license number. 2.5 hours later, police recovered the abandoned truck. They say their suspect is a 23-year-old Mexican man from Pleasant Grove. They haven't released his name. Anyone with information should call the Orem Police Department. A Magna child accidentally set his family's home on fire today. County firefighters say the boy was playing with a lighter in a downstairs bedroom when a bed caught fire. They say the flames spread up the stairs to the kitchen where they controlled and doused the fire. The child and his mother escaped injury, but a firefighter suffered second-degree burns on his neck. Investigators estimate damage to the home at $17,000.
This is the start of one of the most thorough eye exams you can get. It's the new computerized vision test. Just one of 20 tests and checks at Eye Exam 2000. 20 modern procedures that give you a complete vision evaluation, plus a complete eye checkup, including glaucoma and cataract tests.
Thoroughness is Eye Exam 2000.
Eye Exam 2000, next to Precision Lens Crafters. Fashion Place Mall, now in Ogden City Mall, lower level, near the Bond.
A problem with banking someplace else is you have to do it their way, their terms, their time. Not at America First Credit Union. Because if you're a member, you walk in America First, not as a customer. You walk in as an owner. You feel our flexibility. With our many financial services, America First conforms to our members, not the other way around. So make a smart move. Join America First. Try our services. Feel our flexibility.
What's the most trouble-free new car sold in America? Once again, it's a Toyota. This year, it's a Toyota Cressida. Who could ask for anything more?
Appearing September 13th at the Utah State Fair Grandstand, Louise Mandrell. Coming September 14th, Helen Cornelius. Get your tickets now for the All-Star Entertainment at the Utah State Fair. Call 533-STAR.
San Antonio is preparing for Pope John Paul's 22-hour visit. He arrives tomorrow morning and plans to celebrate an outdoor mass for as many as 500,000 worshipers. A local furniture maker and his neighbors built the altar and chair the pontiff will use. They carried the chair 12 miles to the site today. But not all preparations went smoothly there. Strong winds destroyed 2 towers at the Mass site on Friday.
The Pope was in New Orleans today, where he celebrated Mass with hundreds of thousands at Lakefront Arena. He also met with black Catholic leaders who told him blacks want to play a more significant role in the church. And he spoke to young people and to their teachers. CBS correspondent Mark Phillips has details on the Pope's day.
Into the Louisiana Catholic heartland came Pope John Paul II. The crowds were bigger, the welcome more enthusiastic, the message more direct. A session with black Catholics had the atmosphere of a revival meeting, but the issue had a less joyful tone. John Paul was told that many of America's 1 1/3 million black Catholics are considered second-class citizens in the church. The Pope evoked the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King in responding to the call for more black participation in church leadership.
The church can never remain silent in the face of injustice wherever it is clearly present.
From the grievances of blacks to the temptations of youth, John Paul seemed to enjoy the Mardi Gras-like scene in a Superdome rally of more than 50,000 young people. But he warned them of the lure of drugs and sex. But John Paul dealt with more today than what it's like to be a young or a black Catholic in America. He dealt with what he sees as a broader problem among American Catholics, divorce. At the huge New Orleans outdoor mass, another event held in an intermittent downpour, he laid down the law. Marriage was sacred. Divorce caused what he called brokenness and suffering among parents and children. One by one, John Paul is addressing America's major social and religious issues. And as he promised, he is explaining his position, not changing it. Mark Phillips, CBS News, New Orleans.
It might seem like mission impossible, but UN Secretary General Perez de Cuellar is in the Middle East trying to work out an end to the Iran-Iraq war. He met today with Iran's foreign minister, who told him that Iran will not agree to a ceasefire until the UN brands Iraq the aggressor in the war. Perez de Cuellar will also meet with Iran's president and speaker of the parliament before heading for Iraq on Monday.
After a week of heated debate, Italy's parliament voted today to send warships to the Persian Gulf to protect Italian shipping after an Iranian gunboat attacked an Italian ship. But the warships will not set sail until Tuesday to give the Secretary General time to complete his peace mission. And a convoy of U.S. warships escorting ships Surf City and Chesapeake City left Kuwait early today. They reported no unusual Iranian air or surface activity. These ships are the 8th convoy American ships have escorted since July 21st. Good news soon about missing hostage negotiator Terry Waite. The Church of England says that came from Syria's defense minister. Apparently, he gave no more information to the delegation that Archbishop Robert Runcie sent to Damascus. He just said Syrian efforts to free Waite continue. Waite vanished January 20th in West Beirut after leaving his hotel to meet with members of the Islamic Jihad.
Ice-Capades, more exciting than ever. You can have 2 tickets to the Ice-Capades and Utah State Fair free if you start Mount Olympus Water's home or business service, or if you refer a new customer who starts delivery service before September 20th. Get your free ice capades and Utah State Fair tickets from Mount Olympus Waters. Call 974-5000 to start your delivery service. Hurry. Ticket supply is limited.
Don't miss the $5 million car show and sale at the Newgate Mall in Ogden, September 9th through 12th.